Project management is the use of processes, methods, skills, knowledge, and experience to meet particular project objective within defined guidelines while adhering to project acceptance criteria. Through this tutorial, you will understand the fundamentals of project management concept and tools. Along with this, project initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, and control and closure are covered in this course. You will also learn how to manage projects effectively with Asana, Jira, Slack, and Zoho, among other applications. Along with all these things, you will also learn how to communicate successfully with stakeholders, build and maintain a project timeline, monitor and control project risks, and manage team members efficiently. We will also learn about quality management, 3 primary components including quality planning, quality assurance, and quality control. And by focusing on these key areas, you will be able to develop the skills necessary to manage projects successfully. So without any further ado, let's get started right away. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any new update or video releases from Great Learning. If you enjoy this video, show us some love and like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing, so make sure you share this video with your friends and colleagues. Make sure to comment on the video for any query or suggestions and I will respond to your comments. Now, very quickly, let me walk you through the agenda for today's course. In today's course, we are going to look at the introduction to project management, Asana project management, Jira project management, Slack project management, Zoho project management, and project quality management.
So let us dive deeper into our very first topic on this particular course on project management, which is nothing but what is a project. So in order to completely understand what project management is, we should be firstly understanding what a project is. So without having any idea or having a vague idea on what a project is, we will not be able to manage a project, right? So we need to be having complete idea on what a project is, what it is completely based upon, and what are the things that you should be implementing in this particular project. So regarding all those things, you should be completely aware. Only then you will be able to manage a project. So that's exactly what we will be going to cover in this particular module on what is a project. A project is a group of tasks and activities followed to support the effort to accomplish the specific goal. So in order to accomplish a goal, you would be needing to put in a lot of effort, time, and you should be working in such a manner that you are actually getting to somewhere what you are actually aiming for. To achieve what you're specifically aiming for, you need to be providing or you need to be sufficing a lot of conditions and requirements. And in project, we are actually talking about a lot of tasks and activities which are going to be involved. So let's take any example like buying a house, constructing a building, building a bridge, or anything. It can be simple as submitting our project in our university or school. So in order to get all those things done, we should be doing or we should be following several tasks or activities. It may be research, it may be references, it may be conducting surveys from the people who are actually involved in the particular tasks, right? So we should be following different tasks and activities to complete a project. So that is actually a project, right? So all those tasks and activities which are coming is part of a project. And all those things need to be done in the right manner to make sure that the project is done in the right manner. A project is a collection of linked activities carried out in an organized manner with a clearly defined start point and end point to achieve the desired result to satisfy the current and future needs of the organization. This would be a more detailed explanation on a project. So here, we would be talking about collective activities. It will be a collection of activities and tasks which are linked to each other. So one activity or one task will be linked to the other activity. Only then they will be able to make sense. And all the activities which are being conducted in a project would be linked for sure. That is very obvious. So it can be actually classified as a group of activities and tasks, which is a collection and which is also connected internally. So if one activity is being affected, it is going to be directly affecting the entire project. And that is nothing but if one task or activity is being affected within, then the adjacent activity or the tasks which are coming up within the project would be affecting as well. So that is what I meant by involving the term interconnected, right? Or linked activities. And in this particular project or in any particular project, you would be having a specific start point and end point. The specific end point would be when you achieve your particular goal, which you're actually plan to achieve, right? So if you're actually planning to submit some project, maybe it is your research project, maybe it is for your thesis on your PhD. So when you're actually planning to submit something, you're actually having that aim. This should be what I should be getting. This should be the result which I should be getting, right? Or you would be surveying. What would be the survey giving us? What would be the interpretations or inferences that we will be getting by conducting the survey? All those things we'll be having in our mind. So those things will be our objective. And that exactly would be our endpoint. And the starting point, which would be nothing but the researches that we need to be doing, the study that we need to be actually having, the kind of knowledge which should be gaining through the research and through the project. So all those things would be coming in the starting point as well. So in between the starting point and the ending point, there will be several other tasks and responsibilities and other activities which are related to achieve what you were actually expecting or what you were actually finally expecting to achieve. So all those things are completely linked, and all those things will also be having a specific start point and an end point. And in between, there will be a lot of activities as such. And then we should be actually directing, or we should be actually diverting all these things in the right direction to achieve what we require. So that direction, that complete pathway should be monitored and be controlled. So all these things contribute to the fulfillment of a complete project. A project can be any undertaking which is carried out individually or as a group to achieve the specific aim. So I can be doing an individual project, right? I can be doing some research. I can be implementing some tasks. I can be bringing up with some models, or I can be coming up with a working model of anything as such. So I can be doing that on my own. And that doesn't mean that a project should be completed by a single person. It can be completed by a single person, or it can be obviously done by as a group as well. Because a lot of projects are being implemented right now in various organizations as groups. So if you are into IT sector, you will be able to know that in much more detail. The project which you are working on you would not be working on that independently. Maybe you were having a certain independency, but you will be working as a team. You will be needing to report your manager. You will be needing to coordinate with your team members, right? So in such cases, you can also complete a project as a team. And it is most obviously or most commonly seen that a project will be done as a group and not individually. But it is not certain that it can be done only as a group, only as an individual as well. So it can be connected both ways as well. Now let's come to our very main topic for this course on project management, which is nothing but what is project management. So we understood what a project is. So now we'll be knowing how to manage a project. Since we know some basic idea on what a project is, it will be more simpler and easy for us to understand project management or how to manage our project. So let us understand more on project management. Project management is a dynamic process that utilizes the resources of an organization in a structured and controlled manner to achieve the defined goals identified by the organization. So here in project management, it is nothing but we are managing the project. How are we managing our project? We are managing a project in a dynamic process by utilizing all the resources that the organization is having. So what are the resources the organization would be having? Resources can be the building which they possess, the capital they have invested, the capital they are going to invest, the employees who are working for them, human resources, right? And also the building they possess, and also the power, water supply, electricity, energy, and all those things, all the machineries, equipments. So all these things can be classified or can be grouped as the resource which the organization is possessing. So all those things should be managed in the right manner to ensure that the company is actually achieving what it is actually expecting to achieve. And in project management, we try to ensure that the resources which we utilize are in the right manner. We make sure that the resources are being used in a structured and an organized manner so that there is no over usage, there is no minimal usage, and to make sure that the ideal usage of all the resources are being done. So whenever one department or one team or one employee is actually requiring for any resource, he's actually getting it at the right time in the right amount. It should not be more, it should not be less. It should be apt for the particular thing to be implemented. So in project management, we have a look on that as well. So we would be having a structured and organized view on all such things as well. And all these things would be ideally keeping in mind what our objective or what our goal is for this particular project. So how can this be achieved? How are the resources being matched, or how are the resources being utilized to make sure that the project will be done in the right time, in the right manner, and without causing any delays or any expense as well. So all these things should be used in the right manner. Only then you will be able to get right output, right? So whatever the objects or whatever the objective the company is having on this particular project needs to be conducted in the right manner, and diverting all the resources to make sure that the project is being running and project is on. Project can be on and off because, if you don't find that the particular project will be completed in the particular period of time, or the project will not be achieved at all, it can be called a failure project or failed project. So in order to avoid that, we should be working on all these things. And that is the primary importance of having project management in any organization, which ensures that the project is going in the right direction, in the right manner, and the project is not having any trouble in the near future. Project management involves the use of specific knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to create value to the organization and its business. So in order to get something done, we should be skillful. We should be having informed decisions. If we are taking any decision without any information or without any data or without knowing anything, it is so certain that we would be taking the wrong decision. And how can we avoid that? We can avoid that by taking informed decision. So how can we take informed decision? We should be getting updated. We should be knowing the market. We should be knowing the market trends, and we should be knowing what would be the future potential in. How can this project be helpful for the organization by implementing these and these things? So we should be in a position to understand that. We should be building knowledge in the specific area which we are working on. And we should be having a skill set to implement all those things. It is not just that we should be having the skill set. All our employees should be having the skill set. Whoever are belonging to the particular team in the particular project should be having enough skill set. We should be giving training for them. We should be preparing or molding them in the right manner so that they are going to be perfect asset for us. Only then they would be actually useful for us or useful for the organization. If we are having employees who is doing nothing, who is not productive, that can be classified as a resource. If we need to be classifying all our employees as resources, we should be making them productive. And in order to get them productive, we should be building skill sets in them. So to ensure that they are having the right skill sets, we should be giving training. We should be giving them whatever is required to make them perfect for the role which they are into. And the kind of tools which we engage in a particular project should be apt. It should be updated. It should be along with the market. It should be available to us when we require it. And it may be software, it may be hardware, it may be an equipment, it may be machinery, or it be anything. The kind of tools which we possess in our organization to get the things done should be of high quality to make sure that there is no flow coming in the future. The kind of quality which we provide to our customers in this particular business should be high. And our quality or the quality of our project should not be questioned by anyone. So to make sure that is happening, we should be making sure that all our tools and techniques that we implement are of high standards. And coming to techniques, what are the techniques which we are having? What is the approach that we are having on this particular project? How are we able to get this particular thing done? What are the alternatives available to us? What is the kind of methodology that we will be able to use or to implement in achieving this particular project or in achieving this particular goal in this particular project? So all these things matters. So it is about your knowledge which you possess, the skill set you're having, the kind of tools and equipments which you're processing. And it's not just processing all these things, rightly using in the apt manner. Ideal usage of all these resources is also very much important to make sure that you are reaching wherever you need to reach. A project management team is responsible for getting the project delivered within the estimated time and allocated budget. Both are very, very, very important. If you say that you would be completing this project in 10 days, I'm just giving a random number here. It may be 1 month, it may be 3 months, it may be 6 months, or it may be 1 or 2 years. Depending upon the project, the duration would be longing. So if you have said that this project would be done in X days, it is your responsibility and it is your team's responsibility to make sure that the project is being done and it is being delivered on the X day at least. Right delivery on the particular time would be bringing in more capability and also more trust within your organization. If you mention that you would be giving the particular project on X day and you actually fail to do so, the client would be unhappy. The client would not be interested in giving you more projects. And the kind of service which you are providing to them is very poor. So timely completion of each and every project is also very important. You should be coordinating, you should be managing, you should be planning all the things accordingly so that you would be meeting your timeline, your specific timeline for each of the projects or each of the activities or tasks which are involved within the project. So you should be dividing each and everything in such a manner that you are actually having a time within you or within your department, within your team, so that you know when should you complete this task. What is the time you're having to complete the next task? Right. So you should be having a plan. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Now coming to budget. Budget is also a very important thing that you need to be considering in any project. The kind of investment the organization is making is huge. And the organization is making that much investment because they are so certain that they would be able to get much more out of the investments they are making. So if they need to get more returns on the investment which they are actually doing, it is our responsibility to get that done in the right manner without affecting the quality and also within the allocated budget. We should not be overspending. At the same time, we should make sure that whenever the person or whenever the employee is actually in need of certain resource, we should be making it available for them. And there should not be any delay which is being occurred because the kind of resource is not being reaching the particular employee who was actually needing it in the right time. We should be making sure every resource is actually meeting the particular demand and it is being given to each and every employee who actually require it in the right amount, not more and not less. The primary purpose of project management is to predict, foresee, and eliminate all the dangers and problems that can occur during the implementation. It is so certain that while implementing something, we will be given so many problems. We should be overcoming from all those pullbacks. We should be overcoming and we should be performing well. No matter whatever feedbacks or whatever fallbacks you are having, you should be standing up and you should be rising up and you should be moving forward. And in project management, it is our responsibility to make sure that there is no problem or there is no trouble or there is no danger that we are foreseeing. If there is any, we should be foreseeing it at the earliest and we should be working to resolve that. Whatever troubles we may be facing, whatever capabilities which we possess or which we lack, how can that be utilized? How can that be converted into our benefit? And all those troubles should be eliminated. We should be working on all those dangers and troubles to make sure that the functioning of all the activities and processes or tasks are done in the right way possible. So we should be in a position to avoid all such instances to make sure complete and smooth, effective and efficient working within our team to satisfy or to achieve what we are actually looking for. Now let's move on to our very next module, which is nothing but phases of project management. What are the various phases that a project goes through? Now let's look at that. So the various projects which I have mentioned here are project initiation, project planning, project execution, project monitoring and controlling, and project closing. So these are the 5 phases which we are having, which a project goes through. Each and every project goes through. So project initiation, initial stage of any project. How can a project be started? Right. So that's what we'll be talking there. Project planning. We should be having a complete picture on how to get this particular project done. We should be having the clear plan. What is the objective? What are the tasks and responsibilities? How will we do that? How will we divide all these tasks among the team? And in what period of time will we do it? And what is the kind of budget we require? So all this planning need to be implemented, right? So that is all in project planning. Project execution. Until and unless you execute something, it is not of any value. You might be having $1 billion business idea, but if you don't implement it or if you don't run the business, you won't be getting paid for your idea. But if you implement or if you execute it in the right manner, you would be able to do that. Right. So that is all about project execution, implementing stage of the project. Next comes project controlling and monitoring. So whatever you're implementing or whatever you are executing, is it in the right manner? Is there anything wrong which is going on in the tasks and activities which you are actually taking in place? Is it everything happening in the right possible way? Or is there any changes or modification which needs to be included in your organization in the particular project? So any monitoring and controlling will be helpful for us to evaluate our performance. How are we going? Is our direction going in the right way? Do we need to be incorporating any changes? Right. All those things will be coming in project controlling and monitoring. Then comes project closure. We'll be closing the project here. The complete objective of the particular project has been achieved and the complete delivery is being taking place in this phase. So let us dive deeper into each of these phases to a little extent so that we are able to understand on all these things in a much more clear manner. Project initiation, the first phase which a project goes through. So it is the first stage of transforming a meaningful idea into reality. So what would be the kind of effort that you need to be putting in to convert an idea into reality? An idea can be born anywhere, in any time, and it is not something which is very hard. It is very hard to find out with a valuable and effective idea, but that is actually the most simple part in any project. Implementing that particular idea into reality is what is going to be really tough. And that is the first phase. That project initiation is the first phase which goes into picture when you're trying to get any idea into reality. It defines the project and the idea on a broader level. So what it is completely about, what it is focusing on, who is the actual person who is actually benefiting it, in what category are they belonging to, how much investment do we need to be keeping, and how will be the return be coming to us, and what is the kind of model in which we'll be able to create or able to implement in such a manner that it would be feasible and efficient. So we'll be explaining on all such activities, what are concerning us. So we'll be explaining on a broader level here in project initiation. It creates a project charter with a document which consists of the project goals and constraints, along with timeline and budget. So what is the ultimate goal? What is the ultimate objective of performing this particular project? And what are the restrictions or constraints that we tend to face or we will be facing in the future while implementing it? How can we overcome that? Right? So we'll be talking about that here. We'll be actually thinking and working on that. We'll also be laying the timeline and budget here. At what time or by what time will we be able to complete and deliver this particular project? When do we actually able to completely transfer this particular project into reality? So that's what we'll be doing. Along with budget, what would be the kind of investment? Who would do the investment? And do we actually have the particular return on investment if we actually do this particular investment in this particular project? So we will be evaluating and we'll be studying more on this particular project, what it is actually all about, and will we be able to implement? And is this a practical and feasible project? Right. So we'll be talking regarding all these things. It decides upon the key stakeholders and decision makers in the respective domain within the project. So we'll be having subject matter expertise in various domains, right? So in whatever business you are into, in whatever category which you actually belong to, you would be having the expert in that particular domain. So in every project, we'll be dividing each and every tasks, right? So in each and every task or each and every stage, we need to be having a key stakeholder who is completely responsible for whatever is happening in those particular stage. So we should be deciding upon that. Who should be responsible for what tasks? In whichever stage should they be belonging to? How will they be able to manage that? And who would be the right fit for that particular task? So all these things we'll be laying on and we'll be planning on and we'll be implementing on in this particular phase of project management, which is nothing but project initiation, which is the first phase of any project. The second phase would be project planning. How are we planning forward to implement the particular project? And what should we be enabled with to perform all these things in the right way possible? In project planning, we actually lay a complete roadmap for the entire project. Whatever tasks need to be done, whatever process needs to be done, whatever certifications need to be taken, whatever approval should we require, and what is the kind of precautions that we should be having. So throughout the particular project, from the start point to the end point, what are our responsibilities? In each of the phases, what should we be doing? How should we be doing it? So we'll be doing all those particular planning here. A complete roadmap is actually laid down in this particular phase of project management. In project planning, we plan the complete project, how to implement, what would be the causes of the effect, what would be the dangers that we need to be overcoming, what would be the problems or the troubleshoots that we will be facing or we will be needing to overcome, right? So we'll be having an idea on all the things. It defines the technical requirements for smooth functioning of the particular activities. So what are we need to be having? What techniques or what equipment should we be possessing? What is the kind of technology that we should be having? What is the kind of skill set that we need to be implementing? What is the kind of updation that we need to be bringing in to make sure that all the activities are being done in the right way possible without any trouble? How exactly we plan here? It develops a detailed project schedule to adhere to the timeline. So here, since we plan all the activities which is to be taking place in each of the stages, we gave a timeline for all those activities. So that in that particular timeline, we'll be seeing that these particular tasks are being done so that we'll be able to adhere to the timeline of the entire project. So we'll be giving reasonable timelines, practical timelines, which we will be able to implement in real time. So how to adhere to the timeline, how to manage the time. So how can we run other things parallelly, which would not be affecting the particular thing which is being running right now? So how can we work parallelly and how can we work more efficiently and effectively? We will be deciding upon that in this particular phase of project planning. It creates a specific point of contact for specific concerns. So if their employees are having any concerns, whom should they be contacting? Who would be the spokespersons? Specific point of contacts, right? So who are the spokesperson in various categories? So if you're facing this particular difficulty in this particular sector, who should be contacting? If you're facing in any other particular sector, whom should you be contacting? So the employee should be well aware of all such things. Who is the right person to contact for what particular thing? So all those things will we be enabling in this particular phase of project planning. Project execution phase. This would be the most important phase a project would be going through, because until and unless you implement it, you won't be getting anything. So converting your idea into reality is what is being done in this particular phase, implementation or execution. So this is the phase where the actual work is being done. The real work is coming into reality by implementing. And here we can directly see that. We can directly see the imminent changes which is influencing the complete project. Here we'll be able to visibly clearly see what are the actions, what are the progress, and what is the kind of development that the project is into. So we'll be able to have a complete idea on that in this particular phase. Since it is the execution of the implementation phase, this would be the most difficult phase as well, because we are implementing. We're actually on the ground working to implement or to achieve the complete objective of this particular project. It tries or maintains or aims to establish efficient workflows and monitor the progress of the team. So since we are actually working on the ground floor, we'll be able to see what is the progress at, how are the progress going in which direction are the progress in. So each and every detail we'll be able to see in this particular phase. So we'll be able to reflect how we planned and how it is being implemented here. And we make sure that the complete coordination is being happening within the several departments. So we need to be coordinating with several departments to ensure that the particular objective is being achieved. So whichever department we need to be collaborating with, or whichever departments needs to be helping us, or whichever department needs our help to complete this particular project, we should be available to them, and they should be available, or they should be in a position to coordinate along with us. So easy coordination and collaboration of different departments also is being considered in this particular phase of project management. We can't be doing anything on our own until and unless we are being helped or we are being backed up by a lot of resources. So it can be humans, it can be equipment, it can be technology, it can be a lot of things. So we need to be seeking their help and coordination as well. So we actually maintain a complete and parallel and effective workforce by implementing such things. We make sure that nothing is being kept idle and all the resources are being continuously utilized in the right manner so that we'll be able to get the right output in the right time without any delay, without compromising the quality as well. The fourth phase, which is nothing but project monitoring and controlling. How are we able to monitor and control? So when we actually take care of all the activities and tasks which are to be done to make sure that the project is actually going in the right direction, we need to be having a look at that. We need to be monitoring what are the tasks and activities going on, in what kind of approach are they doing it. Are they doing it in the right manner? Or can we enable something or bring in something in addition to all the procedures to make sure that it will be more efficient, it will be working more smoothly, and we'll also be able to enhance on the quality as well. So will we be able to make in or bring in any modifications or changes to our force of action, right? So by doing monitoring, we'll be able to get a more understanding on that. And not only that, by having these things done, we also have a control on what are the tasks and activities which are being taking place. So we'll be able to have a control, we'll be able to have a hold or a grip on all the activities which are being taking place to ensure that everything is going in the right direction. It ensures that there is no deviation from the initial plan of execution. So initially, when we actually had the particular product in our mind, we had a plan how to implement the things, how it should be done in which particular manner, and what should be the approach and what should be the methodologies and strategies which we should be having. Are we actually following that? Or is there any deviation from all those things? This is the time where we are actually having a firm grip on all these things. We'll be able to monitor and we are having the complete control to bring in or eliminate any task or activity or any methodology that we are using or we need to be using. It tracks the progress at each and every stage of the project. After one stage, the project moves on to the next stage, right? So how the transition is happening and how are things being implemented there? Are we having the right progress or are we going in the right pace? So how much quality or how much effectivity are we being able to bring in by following these things? So we'll be able to keep complete track on all the progresses that are being taking place in each of the phases as well. And it ensures that there is no error which is being occurring in the process which are taking place. And unless and until that is being taken care of, we should be knowing if there are any errors, we need to be catching that in the first place at the earliest that work is not being done on that particular product, and we will be able to rectify that thing in the first place and then move on with whatever we need to be doing on. So the first thing is that we need to be eliminating all the mistakes or the errors. So after eliminating the risks and errors, we'll be able to get more quality products, and we'll be knowing where our mistakes are, where our faults are, how we'll be able to improve. And it also verifies whether the tasks are carried out meeting the expectations in terms of quality. So we had an expectation on our quality, right? While we actually planned for this particular project. Is it actually matching whatever we planned for? Or it is actually lacking on the quality? And will we be surviving in the market if we provide these many quality? So we should be thinking and we should be actually monitoring, and we'll be able to recollect and analyze. And if things are going wrong, this is the phase where we'll be able to pitch in and also take control over all the activities to make sure that everything is being deviated in the right direction only. Finally, we have come to our very last phase of project management, which is nothing but project closing. In this particular phase, we actually end the project. Not because the project is not working. We are ending it because we have actually achieved whatever we actually had to achieve. All the objectives, all the tasks, all the activities, and all the processes have been completed. And now we are in the time to complete or close the particular project. All the things that were expected out of us have been achieved, and we are in a position to transfer this particular project to the client or to the person who actually asked us to work on this particular project. So in this particular phase, we also work on the paperwork necessary, which indicates that the project has been closed in the desired manner, which they are actually expecting out of us. So in whichever manner they had to complete this project, we actually did in that manner itself. That is what this paperwork deals about or conveys about. So thereby we'll be getting to know that all the activities and tasks, responsibilities, processes, and all those things have been done according to the plan. So this paperwork indicates that, or this document indicates that. In this phase, we also conduct a reflection meeting to assess the strength and weaknesses of the team for the project for continuous improvement. What were the weaknesses? What were the strengths? What were our area to improve? What are the struggles we saw? What are the area we struggled? What were the complete difficulties that we had to overcome? So these can all be a learning for us. So we'll be knowing that, and we'll be able to tackle all those things in the future projects that we are getting. So we need to be conducting a reflection meeting to learn where we stand, how we can improve, what are the areas that we need to be focusing on. At the same time, we also need to focus on our strengths as well, so that we know that we are strong in this domain, we are strong in this particular thing, or we will be able to attain maximum quality by performing this particular task. Right. So it is very important to know our weaknesses as well as our strengths. And in this particular phase, we also make sure that all the sensitive data and information are stored in a secure place, so that whenever any concerns are being raised in the future, we should be in a position to answer that. So all the details, all the paperwork, and all sensitive information should be stored securely. It should not be leaked. At the same time, it should be accessible whenever a question or whenever a concern is being raised. So all these things are being made sure being implemented in this particular phase of closing. So that's all about all the phases that we need to be going through while managing a project. Now let's move ahead with our next module or next topic for this course on project management, which is nothing but benefits of project management. So if we are following project management within our team or within our organization which we are working for, we would not be simply following something, right? So if we follow anything, there will be reasons behind doing that. And there will be some gains or benefits or advantages that we would be benefiting out of by following or implementing such things. So if you are thinking of, or if you're already accommodating project management, what are the things that you are gaining? What are the benefits or advantages that you will be getting by following project management? Don't you want to know? And that's exactly what we'll be covering in this particular module. So the various benefits which I have put forward on the advantages or the benefits of project management are these: organizes the work to achieve your specific goal, eliminates confusion, improves the team effectiveness, align communication, and also increase the efficiency with which you are working or your team is working. So coming to organizing your work. So in order to get your project done, or in order to get your ultimate goal achieved, you should be following certain things. You should be getting things done in the proper manner, in the proper time. So how can you organize your work? You may be needing to do a lot of things or multiple tasks at a time. So how will you be able to organize? How will you be able to organize the work in such a manner that what are the works that you will be able to take up parallelly? What are the works that need to be done at a later stage? What are the things that need not be waiting for any other pre-requiring tasks to be completed? So you would be having an idea on that. You would be knowing how to organize, how to get the things done in what time, and who will be doing that. So you will be having a complete clarity on such things, and that is one benefit that you are gaining by following project management. Coming to the next one, eliminates confusion. So whenever we are doing something, if we are not so certain about that, we would be having confusion. Especially when we are working in a team, there will be people who are not particularly feasible or familiar with whatever we are doing right now. They may be new to the team, they may be new to this particular project, or depending upon various reasons, there might be having chances of having confusions. So whenever the confusions are arising, implementing project management, and one of the basic benefit that you would be getting is that it eliminates confusion. There would be no confusions at all. And even if there are confusions persisting among the team members within your team or within your organization, it will be so simple that it will be easy for them to get the things clarified. They will be getting all the things done in the perfect manner because all their confusions are being clarified. And it also helps to improve the team effectiveness. They'll be able to work in a mingling space. They'll be able to cooperate with your team members and also collaborate with other departments as well, thereby increasing the productivity and effectiveness within the department, within the team, and within the organization as such. So we'll also be able to work or get the things done in a more effective manner. At the same time, we'll also be able to align our communication and eliminate communication gaps as well. We need to be collaborating within our team, with other teams, and also within the managers or higher level members within your organization. So when getting your project done, you might need to be talking to them, you might need to be getting approval from them. And in all such areas, if you are having communication gap or any misunderstandings, that is going to take a huge toll on your team and you as well. So by implementing project management, all such communication gaps can also be eliminated. And finally, coming to increasing the efficiency with which you're working. The kind of effort you are putting might be very huge. Sometimes, if you are implementing project management, you might get the things done even without doing that much effort or even without taking that much effort. So there might be a simpler way to do so. There might be an easy task that would help you to implement these things in a better way, increasing the quality in which we are working, and also by increasing the productivity. So there need not be any huge input. So if you're implementing product management in all such areas, in whichever domain you're working in whichever category you belong to, in what kind of business you're working on, you will be able to get a lot of advantages. So these are the various few benefits which I have written here, and there might be many more that you would be coming across when you implement project management. Now let's talk about the various components of project management. So without wasting any time, let us move on to that directly. So these are the various components of project management, starting off with defining the reason why the project is necessary. So whenever you take up a project within your team or within your organization, there should be one decision being made whether to move on or go forward with this particular project. Is this project necessary? What is the goal, or what is this particular project aiming to achieve at the end? So by studying the project, it is only then that the complete organization or the team is thinking of or taking a decision on whether to take up this project or to move ahead or ignore this particular project and take up a project which is of more value. So in this particular phase or in this particular component, we actually define the project. What is the project aiming at? How it is actually going to benefit the company? How are we able to work on this particular thing? And will we be able to get this particular project done? So these are the things which are coming in defining the project. And these are the things which are being done in defining the project. Next comes specifying the quality of deliverables. So when you actually do a project, we are having an ultimate goal to get this particular ultimate thing done. In what level of quality will you be achieving that? What would be the novelty of this particular project? And how would you be standing out from the existing products or the existing services which are being provided by your competitors. So that is exactly what we'll be dealing with in this particular component, specifying the quality in which we are delivering our project. Is it standing out from our competitors? Is it going to make a difference, or is it going to impact the market? So these are the things which would be coming in this particular component. Next comes capturing project requirements. Once you have decided to move forward with this particular project, you need to be having requirements. You need to be having the resources to implement the project. So in order to get the particular thing done according to the specifications, what are the requirements that we possess? What are the necessities that we should be inculcating in order to get this particular project done in the right way? So all these things will be coming in this particular component. That's nothing but capturing project requirements. Next would be estimating the resources and budget allocation. So once we know what are the requirements and how we'll be able to achieve these things with these many technologies and techniques being employed, we'll be knowing how much time we need to be spending on that and how much money we would be spending on that. What is the kind of investment that we require in order to process or in order to have all the technicalities and also the technology and also other machineries and equipments which is being involved to get this particular project into live. Right. So these are the things that would be coming in this particular component. That is nothing but estimating the resources and budget allocation. So only by having what are our requirements, we would be able to allocate our budget. So that is exactly what we are looking at here. Next would be securing corporate agreement and funding. So once you know what are your requirements, what are the technologies that you're going to implement, what are the materials that you require, what are the resources that you need to be employing, and having an idea on all such things, you would be knowing your budget. You would be knowing your resources that are required to get this project into picture. So just by having that is not enough. You need to have that investments. So you need to get the fundings. You need to get those resources to your team to get everything done in the proper way. That exactly would be what is going to come in this particular component. Nothing but securing corporate agreement and funding to get this project done in the planned manner. Next would be managing risks, issues, and changes on the project. So let it be anything, there would be risk involved. Let it be any business you're doing, let it be anything you're doing, right? There would be a calculated risks involved. So how are you able to manage the risk? How are you able to calculate the risk and take a better decision? And how are you able to cope up with the issues and overcome all those hurdles in your way? So when you're actually trying to implement something, there will be a lot of things that you need to overcome. There will be a lot of issues. There will be a lot of clearance required. There will be a lot of approvals which you need. So how are you going to achieve all those things? Right. And managing risk and issues is not what is actually completed off. You also need to accommodate changes. Maybe you had a plan how to execute the particular project. And while you're implementing this, you came across a new hurdle which you didn't anticipate of. So in such situations, you need to be taking an alternate path. How can you change the particular working so that you will be able to overcome and you will be able to achieve what you're looking for? So accommodating all the changes is also what we are concerned about here. And next comes monitoring the progress against the plan. So initially, while starting up the particular project, we had a plan how to get this implemented. How will we be able to get our particular goal done in the right way without compromising on the quality, at the same time without affecting our pocket? So how are we able to do that? And in order to get that particular thing done, we need to continuously monitor. Are the things going according to our plan? Is there any problem or any trouble or any issues that is arising within our functioning? So we'll be able to know that only by monitoring. Only by having continuous monitoring and controlling, we'll be able to get to know that. And if we find out such situations, it'll be easy for us to rectify that at the beginning itself. Or else, even after doing everything at the end, we would be finding that this is not worth it and this is not what we were expecting. So it is always important for you to monitor whatever is going on within your workforce. Let's now move on to our very last topic for this particular course on project management, which is nothing but setting of objectives. So when you actually get along with project, you would be having a lot of objectives. You would be having a final goal or final objective which is your ultimate goal, right? So in order to get that thing done, you would be having certain other small tasks and objectives to fulfill in order to achieve that in the long run. So let us look on to this particular objects and how to set objects. Setting of objectives includes performance, quality, budget, and time bound. These are the four main factors that needs to be considered while you are setting any objective. Starting off with performance. What would be the kind of performance that you are able to get in if you are able to implement the particular project? And how would you be able to increase your performance? If you are not productive, if you are not efficient, and if you're not working in an effective manner, you would not be able to get maximum benefit. So it is very mandatory to follow that the things you are getting done, when it is evaluated, it should be coming such a manner that you are performing high. When you're evaluating your own performance, your team's performance, and the company's performance on this particular project, when the client is evaluating that, they should be knowing that, okay, fine, this particular team is working on this particular project for me, and they are performing well. So we need to be mentioning, or we need to be making sure that we are not going down in terms of our performance, which can affect the quality, affect the trust with the client, and also bring down the efficiency with which we are working. Next comes quality. So as I've already mentioned, when you are performing very well, it is so certain that you would be getting on your quality. It goes hand in hand. But having higher performance doesn't completely mean that you are able to get high quality. You need to be following certain techniques. You need to be implementing the market trends into your project which you're performing. You need to be using the latest tools and technologies. You need to be having all the resources and equipments to perform that. And you would be having the perfect first grade raw materials as well to get this particular thing done. So irrespective of whatever sector you are into, whatever domain you're working for, whichever organization you're part of, you should be working on your quality. So all these things would be considered while you're setting your objective. Would you be able to make this particular project in your top notch? Will you be able to do so? Will you be able to compromise on your quality? Will you be able to compromise on your performance? No. So you need to be dealing in such a manner that, or you need to be setting your objective in such a manner that your quality and your performance is not ever being compromised. Then comes budget. So in order to perform well and in order to make your project in terms of high quality, you need to be spending much amount of money into that. So how can you budget your project? How can you allocate all your resources so that you will be able to get the things done in high quality without compromising on your budget, without harming your pocket or harming the investors? And it will be easy for the investors to get back their money. And the kind of return on investments would be high as well. So how can you allocate the budget? How can you make sure that you are not wasting anything? Maybe you can follow lean principle. Maybe you can follow Kanban, Kaizen, and all the other methodologies as well. So how can you make sure that all the things are being done according to the budget or according to the resources which the company is providing to you? So when you're setting your objective, this is also one major important point that you should be clear of. Then comes time bound. Whenever a client is asking you to complete a project, you are given this particular project with a deadline. And it is your responsibility to take up the things in the right manner so that you will be able to get this thing done in the right time. And asking for extension once is okay, but that would not be feasible when you are implementing these things for a huge client. They might be having your competitors as well to look forward to. And they might even give this particular project to them who was more efficient to get these things done on the right time without affecting the quality. So it is very important that when you are setting objectives on your project, you should be fulfilling or you should be keeping these things in mind so that you would be able to get the high quality, high performance, and you are able to get all the things done according to the budget which is allocated to you, and you are able to get this particular thing delivered to your client on time, which they require. So these are the things that you should be keeping in mind while you are setting any objective for completing your project.
All right. So now that we have understood what exactly is a project and how do you manage a project, It's time for us to understand that why do we even need a project management tool? So we know how to manage a project, then why can't only the employees of the organization or the teams which are involved in the project, why can't just they manage the project? Why do we need a specific tool? What is the importance of that project management tool? All of those things we will be discussing in this particular module. So as you can see on the screen, that why do we need a project management tool? So point number one is that the use of project management tools ensures that the entire project management process runs smoothly. As I already told you, that in a project there are various tasks. Now to each and every task there will be some milestone, some objective attached to it, and there will be a deadline as well. How do you manage all those tasks? And especially if there are various teams involved in it, the scope of the project is big, then how do you manage these big projects? You need a specific tool to make sure that this entire process runs smoothly. The second point is the tool assists a team or an individual in doing project management tasks more effectively and efficiently. There will be saving of time, money, and efforts. That is a given because when you are managing those tasks, you will always get to see, I'll be showing it to you in the Asana project management tool as well, that how can you manage all of the timelines, how can you manage the different boards and everything related to a particular project. So it makes the entire process of project management very, very easy compared to the manual process. And that is one importance of these project management tools. Now, last point is that it also allows you to designate which tasks are performed in a specific order. That is, which task is to be done first, and then how many tasks are actually dependent upon that particular task. And based upon that, deadlines are set within the accepted parameters. And we also get to see that which tasks are interdependent. That means which tasks are does not dependent upon any other tasks. So whenever we want, we can do those tasks. There is no specific dependency on any other tasks. So we have to figure out all those things, and if we go with the manual process, it will be a lot of efforts and a lot of time. But if we take a project management tool such as Asana, Trello, and there are so many other tools, the entire process becomes very, very smooth and very, very easy. So that's the beauty of project management tools. Now let's try to understand that what are the most important features of a project management tool. So we have understood that we need a project management tool in order to make sure that the entire process runs smoothly. Now, what are the most important features that we will require in that particular tool? So I have written three particular features over here which are very, very essential for any project management tool, including Asana. So first is simple to use. The tool should be suitable for the project and must have a pleasant interface. The interface should be easy. What we are trying to do with the help of a project management tool, we are trying to make the entire process very, very easy. So the first thing that should be there, must be there in a project management tool is that it should be very, very easy and simple to use. And you never decide a tool and then go for the project. First thing is you have to see that what exactly is the outcome that you are expecting from a particular project. What is the end goal? What are the deliverables? And based upon that, you have to decide that which particular tool will be better for us. So there are so many tools in the market. It's not like first you decide the tool and then you decide the objectives of the project. Based upon the objectives of the project only, you have to decide that which tool will be the best. So in certain tools, certain things will be best. In other tools, other things will be best. It depends upon what features of that particular tool you want to use. What is going to make your life easier when you will be managing a particular project. And based upon that, you need to see which tool will be suitable for your project management process. Then second point is the project management tool should be customizable. That is, the tool should be easy to configure based on the needs of the team or the stakeholders. Then collaboration, the tool should allow for collaboration so the entire team can work together. The entire process should be very, very smooth. So in order to make sure that if you want to share a file, if you want to message somebody, all these features should be there in that project management tool so that we can make sure that the entire team can work together and there's collaboration. So that's the beauty, and these are the essential features that we need in any project management tool. Later on, I am going to show you whether we have these features in Asana project management tool or we don't have it. We will figure it out in the upcoming module. So now that we have understood that what exactly is the need for project management tool and what are the most important features that we require in any project management tool, it is time for us to understand more about this project management tool called Asana. So I'm going to give you a brief intro about this particular project management tool, and I'm also going to tell you that what are the most important features when we talk about Asana. So as you can see, the very first point is that Asana is a high quality task management software, or you can also call it as a project management software. Why? Because eventually a project can be broken down into various tasks. And if you manage those tasks, you are actually managing the entire project. That's the phase planning, as we have already discussed. It was launched in 2008, and the website for this is www.asana.com. Now let's see what are the most important features when we talk about this project management tool. So number one is it is customizable. That is, Asana can be configured based upon the needs of the teams or the stakeholders. So that's one beautiful part about it. Then clear goal setting for teams. We can always set clear goals for teams. We know where we are supposed to reach at, what is our desired position. There can be milestones set for the teams with the help of this particular tool. That is one beautiful feature about it. Then integration with other useful apps such as with Outlook, it has integration with. So that is also one useful point. Then easy progress tracking. We can always track the progress with the help of this tool. We can always see that how far we are from meeting the particular target. Then privacy controls and breaking project into tasks. Whenever we are talking about any project, the first step is we initiate the process, and second is we plan it by breaking it into various tasks. So if you get to manage those tasks, that means you are eventually going to manage the entire project. And that's how Asana actually works. So in Asana, we can break down one project into various tasks, and then to each and every task, we can set deadlines. We can also set that what are the tasks which are dependent upon other tasks and what are the tasks which are not dependent upon other tasks. So that's the beauty of Asana. Now we will be moving forward, and I'm going to tell you that how exactly we can go to the website, we can sign up, and I'll also be showing you what are the different views in Asana. Now let me show you how exactly you can visit the website and you can sign up on Asana project management tool. So as we have already discussed that the website for Asana is asana.com. So you just need to go to www.asana.com and you'll land up on this page. Now, if you want to read more about Asana, then you can, you want to know about the important features of Asana, you can just click on these links and it'll give you a proper overview about this project management tool. You want to know about the features, resources, all of those things are mentioned over here. If you want to go back to the home page, you just need to click on Asana and you will land up over here. So if you already have an account, you can just click on login and you can go to Asana's home page where any one of the views will be visible. If you do not have an account, you can click on get started. Now this get started option also will be available at so many different places as well. So one, you can click over here, you can click on get started, put your mail ID and you can sign up. Or else you can just go here and you can click on this get started and you can start again. If you do not want to click from here also, then again, as I told you that there are different views in Asana. So for example, one is list view. If you click on here, you are eventually going to land up on the same page. It will ask you for your email ID and you can sign up. So the process is very simple. There are so many get started button over here. You can click on any one of these links and you will land up on the same page. If you want to read more about it, so some other features of Asana are also written over here, such as stay organized and connected. You can read these things. Other than this, for example, I told you that Asana has integration with a lot of other applications as well. So it has integration with 200 plus other platforms, such as I told you Outlook, and there are different as well, like Slack, Google Drive. Outlook is one, as we already discussed in the previous module. SharePoint, Office 365, Box, all of these other platforms Asana has integration with. So it is going to help the team in collaborating, working together. So again, as I told you that one of the most important features of Asana project management tool is that you can configure it according to the needs of the teams and the stakeholders. So it's customizable. So you can customize your workflows. All of these things are mentioned over here. So all you need to do is to sign up on this. You will just go to get started and you will click on it. So once you click on that, it will land up on this particular page. You need to enter your email ID here. So once you will enter your email ID and you will verify it, you will come to this page basically. Then it will ask you for your full name. You can write your full name, such as my full name is Shantanu Rana. So you can just type it, then continue. And then what kind of work do you do? Whatever work you want to do, it is related to HR, customer success, engineering, operations, you can choose. Let's say we'll choose marketing as of now. Continue. And then what is the main objective of this project management tool? Why are you using it? You want to do personal task management, one-to-one management, portfolio and workload management. But as I already told you that we are using it for creating a new project and then managing that project. So project and process management I am going to choose here. So first of all, you'll click on project and process management, then click on continue. And then what's something you and your team are currently doing. So if you want to skip these questions, you can skip. It is basically asking you for the name of the project and all. So those things we can do once we land up on the home page. So just click on continue. You can skip these things and you can simply click on continue. So then again, it is asking you, as I told you, there are so many views in Asana: list view, board view, timeline view, calendar view. It depends upon you which view you want to work on as of now. But I will suggest you to go for list view first of all. And as it is written as well that you can change this later. So if you'll click on list view and later on you want to go to calendar view or board view, that can be done. That will not be an issue. So click on continue. And then if you have the teammates email ID, you want to add members, you can do that. But again, once you'll go to the home page, you can do this within Asana project management tool as well. So as of now, we'll just go to the project and then later on we'll see how to add members and how to go about creating a new project. So take me to my project, and this is the basic thing that you're going to see. So as I already told you that your free trial is for 30 days. So that's the beauty of Asana project management tool. There are so many tools where you do not actually get a free trial, but on Asana you get a free trial of 30 days. If you want to go for a premium version and all, then you will have to pay and you can buy the premium version as well. Let's get started. So this is the basic page. Now in the next module, I am going to tell you that what exactly are these options, how exactly you can go about it. So I will be creating the project from the very beginning. So as of now, we'll just delete this project. So it is created on its own. So we'll just go here and you can click on delete project. So now this is a brand new page and I'm going to tell you each and everything that what are these options, how you can go about it, how you can create a particular project. You can break down it into various tasks. Then you can attach a deadline to those tasks. All of that we will be discussing in much more detail. So now once you will sign up on Asana, you are going to land up on this particular page. So this particular part, which is in black or in grayish color, this is called your sidebar. And if you click on my tasks, this particular tab where SR is written, my tasks, list, board, calendar, files, this part is called your header. And this particular part where there is a search bar, there is a plus sign, there is a trial, select plan, all of those things are written and your profile link is there. So this part is called your top bar. And the remaining part, whatever is there, so if you click on list view, board view, calendar view, these are the views basically. So once you'll build a project as well, you'll create a project, then there will be more views such as dashboard will get added and then timeline view will also get added. This part is called your main pane. So these are the four things that you need to keep in mind. This black or grayish part is your sidebar. This is called your header. And then this part is called your top bar. And the remaining screen is your main pane. So these are the four things. Now if you go to home tab, so as of now we have not created any project. Otherwise it will show like where exactly we are. You can track and from the home page itself. If you click on my tasks, you will be able to see all the tasks of your project. You will be able to see where you are. You can track as well. Inbox, you will get to know what are the messages that you have sent, all the messages that you have received. All those things will be here. Then again, if you create a project and you add any members, that will be shown here. If you put a project into your favorites, that will also be shown over here. If you want to invite any teammate, you can just click here, add their mail ID, and you can send a request to them and they will be able to see the project. Now this is the basic interface that you need to know about Asana. And if you need any help, you want to watch some videos how to get started with Asana, you can actually go here, watch these videos, and other basic stuff is also written over here. And then if you want to change the basic settings in Asana, you can just click here and you will be able to see all the basic settings, such as if you want to click on D&D, that is do not disturb. If you want to go for my settings and you want to change the basic features, you can do it from here. If you want to log out or log in, that also can be done from here. So this is the basic interface. So most of the times whenever we get just lost in this application and we need to go to the home page, all you have to do is to come to the sidebar and click on home, and you will again see this particular page. Most of the times when we are managing a project, we have to go to my tasks, and from there, whether we want to see the list view, whether we want to see the board view, we want to see the calendar view, all of that can be managed from here. If you want to see the forms, files, messages, those things will get added over here once we'll create a particular project. Also, one thing that you can do over here is if you want to hide the sidebar, you can just click on these three lines that are here. So for example, if you click on these three lines, the sidebar will not be visible at all. And if you again click on these three lines, the sidebar will be visible. So let's say you are working right now on the main pane. In that case, you will not require the sidebar. So you can just click on that and you can work. You will have more space to work on the main pane. But again, if you need to go to the home or my tasks or inbox, again you can click on these three lines and you will be able to see the sidebar, and you can go to home or inbox or wherever you want to go. Or if you want to see the milestone goals, all of those options are over here. Now once we'll create a project, you will be able to understand it in much more detail, that how do we utilize all these features and how do we go about creating a project and then adding tasks basically. Now let's try to understand that how do you actually create a project in Asana project management tool. The process is very simple. So all you have to do is you can go to any of these such as home or my tasks, and what you're going to see is there's a small plus button over here, and you just need to click on this plus button. So once you click on the plus button, it is going to show you four options. You want to create a task or a project, message, or you want to invite a team member. What we are trying to do over here is we want to create a project. So we'll just click on project and you are going to land up on this page. Now it depends upon you whether you want to start with a blank project or you want to use a particular template or you want to import a spreadsheet. So if you click on use a template, there will be so many templates, some general templates, and since we have chosen marketing domain, it is going to show some templates related to that particular domain as well. So as of now, we'll just go with a blank project. So let's click on blank project and it is going to ask us that what is the project name. So let's say we'll call it project 1. So we'll just call it project number 1. Now, as I already told you that one of the most beautiful features of Asana tool is that we can control the privacy. So you can choose whether you want to make it public to marketing or you want to make it private to only the project members. So let's say we are going to choose private to only the project members. Then again, it is going to ask you which is the view that you are going to choose. You want to choose the list view, board view, timeline view, or calendar view. But again, any view you can choose from here, and later on you will be able to switch from one view to another view as well. So as of now, we'll just go with the list view and we'll click on create project. So as soon as you click on create project, you will be able to see this particular screen. So this is the project and this is a blank main pane we are going to see over here. So as soon as you come over here, let's go to overview first. So once you see that, the first thing that you're going to see on the right side is what's the status. So whatever tasks you will be adding, you will be able to write whether you are on track, you are at risk, or you are off track. So that is the beauty of it. You can do that over here. Now one thing, how we'll collaborate. So whenever one team member will be added, they will be able to see a message. So let's say you can type over here, welcome to project 1 or anything. If you want to welcome your team, you want to talk about some meeting, anything you can see right over here, and your team members whom you are going to add will be able to see this particular line. You can see some examples from here as well, and you can take help from those examples. Then project roles, if you want to add a particular member, you want to add a team member, you'll click over here, you will add their mail ID, and the team members will get added to this particular project. The next thing is key resources, and this is one of the most beautiful features that I find in this particular project management tool called Asana. So first thing over here is add links and files. So whenever you are managing a project, there are certain files and folders which will be very helpful for each and every team member. So if you want to keep those links and files at one place, you can just click on add links and files and you will be able to add those files. If you want to add a file from your computer, Dropbox, Google Drive, Box, OneDrive, you can just add a link or a file and all the team members will be able to see that. Now, the one more beautiful part about it is that you can create a project brief as well. Let me show you how that works. If you click on create project brief, you will end up on this particular page. So here you can explain all the what and whys of this project to your team. So whenever you will be adding a team member, they will be able to see all the basic details, a basic brief about this particular project. So if you go to the right side, there's some suggested content as well. So if you want to take help from this suggested content, you can actually just drag these points and you can click here. So let's say first thing is you want to write the executive summary, whatever it is related to your project, you can write that. Again, if you want to add background, you can again double click and you can drag it here. Again, if it is a problem, so most of the projects are about solving a particular problem. So if you want to write the problem statement, you can again drag it. If you have some proposed solution, you can again drag it here and then you can write all these things. So whatever you want to write about executive summary, background, problem statement, if you click on this plus sign, you can also add a link, a section break, table, anything you will be able to add, and you can create a project brief which is going to help your team and they will be able to understand the what and whys of this particular project. Once you have done this, you have added the project brief, you can just go to this particular point which is in the top right corner and click on done. So once that is done, then key resources is done, you will be able to see this, that project 1 project brief. So whenever a new team member will be added, they can just click on this and they will be able to see the what and whys of this particular project. Now the next point is milestones. So whenever you will be creating a particular task and you will be adding a milestone to that, so that milestone will directly be shown over here and you will be able to track that. So we will come to that later once we'll start creating tasks. And then goals this project supports, so those things also can be added over here. But the main thing that you need to remember is the welcome message, the project roles, that is adding members, then creating the project brief, and milestones which will be shown over here automatically. So that's how this entire process works. And as I told you that once you create a project, so all these are nothing but your views basically. So there is a list view, there is a board view, timeline view, calendar view, dashboard view, and more. So if in more, what is this? Messages, forms, and files. Now later on, we are going to discuss each of these views, that how these views are different from each other and how this entire process actually works. So now that we have understood how to get started with Asana, and we have also seen that how to actually create a project with the help of this tool called Asana, it is time for us to understand that what are the different views which are available in this project management tool. So as you can see on the screen, adjacent to the overview tab, there are various views available, such as list view, board view, timeline view, calendar view, and dashboard view. So we are going to start with the list view, which is widely used. So as soon as you click on the list, this is the screen that you will be able to see. So once you go to this particular little arrow, it is going to show you two options, add section and add milestone. Now what is a section? So a project can be divided into various sections and those sections can be divided into various tasks. Now if you want to divide it further, you can actually divide those tasks into various subtasks as well. I'm going to show you how that can be done with the help of this tool. But as of now, let's say we want to divide this project 1 into 3 sections, such as project planning, project initiation, and project execution. Depending upon the scope of the project can be divided into various sections. So for example, I click on add section and the first section that I want to have is, let's say, project planning. So this is the first section. Then again, second section is, let's say, project initiation. And third section is project closing. Now let's say we want to switch this, we want to have project initiation first and planning later. You can just drag it. So it's very simple and very easy to use. Now these are the three sections that we have in project 1. Now if you want to add tasks, you just go to any of these sections and you click on this little plus button. As soon as you click on that, it is going to show you this option such as write a task name. So let's say in project initiation section, the first task is assign project sponsor. This is the first task. Then second task is, let's say, assign project manager. And let's say the third task is meetings, or let's say identify stakeholders. So it's very easy to use. All you have to do is you just need to divide this project into various sections, and then each of these sections you can have various tasks. For example, I have divided project 1 into 3 sections: project initiation, project planning, and project closing. Now in each of these sections I can have tasks such as project initiation is divided by me into 3 tasks. Assign project sponsor is the first task. Then once that is done, assign project manager, and then last one is identify stakeholders. Then again I can add milestones as well. So first let's do one thing. Let's complete this process. So assign project sponsor, let's say I want to add an assignee. So if I want to assign this task to somebody, I can just click here and it will be assigned to a particular team member. I just need to give their email ID. And then I can add a due date as well. For example, I want to add, let's say 14th. That can be done and you can just click. So that's Sunday. Now if you want to add a deadline to assign project manager, now let's say that is 26th. And again, I want to add a deadline, let's say that is 27th. So these are the deadlines, so the due dates for each of these tasks. Now how do you add a milestone? So let's say once these 3 tasks will be done, I want to say that the milestone will be completed, that is project initiation phase will be completed. Again, you can go to this little arrow which is there adjacent to add task. Then you click on add milestone and let's say project initiation phase completed. So this is the first milestone. Now once that is done, now since this will be done on Sunday, then identify stakeholders is the last task in this particular section, and that will be done on 27th November. So this particular milestone will be completed on 27th November. So I'm going to add a due date and it will be done. Now if you again go to the overview tab over here, you will be able to see the same milestone in this particular section as well. So that's the beauty of Asana. As I already told you, it is going to pull all the milestones that you will be adding to this particular space. So it is going to make us very easier, and we will be able to understand that what are the milestones and what is the due date for each of these milestones in this particular section. Again, if you go to the list tab and you want to add much more details to a particular task, then what you can do is you can just go to that task and you can click on that. Then it is going to open this particular tab. Again, you can go to, let's say you want to mark complete, you can click on this and it will be marked complete. If you want to assign a member, you can do it from here. Due date will be written over here. Project initiation phase, this is project 1. Dependencies. What is dependencies? That what are the tasks which are going to get affected by this particular task? What is the task that we are supposed to do before this task, and what are the tasks that we are supposed to do after this task? Basically, how many tasks are there that this particular task is dependent upon? We are going to look at this dependencies case in the timeline view in much more detail. You can add a description about this particular task over here. Then again, if you want to add a file, that can be done from here in this particular task. If you want to share this link with somebody, you can do that as well. Again, if you want to close, just click on this little arrow and this will get closed. If you want to go to any of these tasks, click on that, add description, add details, click on this. So that's how the list view actually works. So now that we have understood the list view in Asana project management tool, let's move forward and try to understand more about the timeline view. So if you click on timeline, this is the chart that will be shown to you. So here you can see all the sections and here you can see all the tasks that you have assigned. So whatever due date you have given, for example, if you go to the list view and you see these due dates, so this is 14th November and this is the due date for assigned project sponsor task, and then 26th November and 27th November is the due date for assigned project manager and identify stakeholders task. So all these due dates you will be able to see in the form of a chart basically. For example, this is the month November. As you can see over here, this is the month November and all these dates are mentioned over here. So for assigned project sponsor, the due date is 14th. Similarly, for assigned project manager, the due date is 26th November. For identify stakeholders task, the due date is 27th November. And then this milestone, which is project initiation phase completed, will be done by 27th November. Now the beauty of this timeline view is that it is very easy to define dependencies. Now what are these dependencies? It's nothing, but it is very easy to understand actually whenever we are talking about tasks in a particular project. So generally these tasks are dependent upon each other. It's never like each and every task is independent. For example, let's say we cannot assign a project manager until and unless a project sponsor is assigned. So basically this task of assigning project manager is dependent upon this task of assigning project sponsor. Similarly, we cannot identify stakeholders until and unless a project manager is assigned. So first is, this is the predecessor task. Until and unless we'll do this task cannot be done. So this is the general case whenever we are talking about any project. One task has to be completed, then we have to move to a specific task, and then the remaining tasks will be done. So all these tasks are dependent upon each other. Now the beauty of timeline view is this: defining this dependency is very easy. All you need to do is you just need to drag and you will be able to create dependencies. Let me show you how that can be done very easily. For example, if you want to create a dependency between this task, which is assign project sponsor, and this task, which is assign project manager, all you need to do is you just need to go here and you just need to click on this blue dot and drag it to this particular task and drop. And you will be able to create a dependency. So it simply says that first of all we need to complete this task and then we will be moving to this task. And this is the due date for this particular task and this is the due date for this particular task. Again, to create a dependency between assign project manager and identify stakeholder, we need to follow the same thing. You just need to come over here, click on this blue dot and then drag it to the successor task. And you will be able to see that this is a flow. First we will assign a project sponsor, then we'll assign a project manager, and then we will identify stakeholders. Now let me show you how this is going to make your life easier when you will actually be managing a project. Let's say I go to, you just click on project initiation phase. So you will be able to see a screen like this. So let's say I want to change this due date to 30th November. You just need to click on 30th November and you will click on this. So now the due date is changed to 30th November. It is very easy to change the due date in timeline view. Now if you want to create a dependency between these two things, again you will click on here, you will click on this blue dot, drag it, and your task will be completed. So this is the entire flow for this particular task, if you see. Now again, if you want to see that are we going wrong in one way or the another, you click on any of these tasks. Let's say I click on this task and I change the due date to 28th November and I click on this arrow to close this. Now this line is going to be shown in the red color. That means there's something wrong with this. So basically we are supposed to assign the project sponsor first and then we are supposed to assign the project manager. But if you see the due date, we have given the due date to project sponsor 28th November and due date for assigning project manager as 26th November. So definitely this is not going to work, and by seeing this red color line, you will be able to figure it out very easily and then accordingly you can change the due dates. So let's say if this will be completed on 28th November, then accordingly we will have to change this date. You click on this and you change this date. So let's say I make it 29th November. You just go to 29th, click on this small arrow and close. Now this is done. Then again there is a red line which shows that first of all we are supposed to complete assign project manager, and then we are supposed to complete identify stakeholder. So to change this due date as well, you click on this, and let's say we click on 30th November and you click on this little arrow. Now again project initiation, there's a red line, so we need to click on this and we need to change this due date. So if you go here and let's say 4th December is the due date that we have given. Now the entire thing is corrected. Now if you go to the list view, all these due dates will be changed over there as well. So whatever changes we are making in timeline or list view, all those things will be changed in all other views as well. Because views are just different ways of seeing a particular task, a project. It is not going to change anything in a particular way. So if you make changes in list view, those will be reflected back in the timeline view. And if you make any changes in the timeline view, the same thing will be reflected back in the list view. Similarly, let's say here we have changed the milestone to 4th December. That is the due date that we have given now. Similarly, it is going to be reflected back in the milestone section as well. So first of all, it was showing us a different date, but now that we have changed it, it is going to show us a different date, which is 4th December now. So that's how the timeline view actually works. So now that we have understood about the list view and the timeline view, let's try to see what is board view and calendar view. So if you again click on the board view, you will be able to see a screen like this. Now board view is generally used whenever you want to have a visual representation of all the tasks and the section. Now it is very easy to use. For example, you want to track the progress. For example, you can name this as in progress, and if you want to change the names of these sections, you can just click on that and you will be able to change the name. Right now I don't want to change, so I will keep it same. If you want to add tasks, again you can just click on add task and you will be able to add tasks as well. If you want to switch one task from one section to another, all you have to do is you just need to click on that particular task and you will be able to drag it to any other section. So let's say I want to drag this particular task which says identify stakeholders to project planning. I will double click on this, drag and drop it in this section called project planning. And the same changes will also be reflected in the list view. So if you again go to the list view, you will be able to see that all these changes in this particular section, so all of these things are reflected in the list view or in the timeline view as well. Similarly, all of these things are going to change in all other views. Now again, if I don't want to do that, I can just go back and put these tasks over there. So that's how the board view works. Now talking about the calendar view, if you click on the calendar view, you will be able to change the months. So for example, I want to talk about October, November. You can just click on those months and you will be able to see. Now all these dates are given. You can see that what is the due date for a particular task. So for assign project manager, the due date is, so this is the month November we are talking about. So the due date is 29th November. And for identify stakeholders, the due date is 30th November. Similarly, if you go ahead, you will be able to see what is the due date for the other tasks. Now, one thing that you can do in the calendar view is you can click on weekends on or off. Now that's very, very good, because in certain countries, depending upon whatever work you do or the organization, let's say Saturday and Sunday is not working. So based upon that, you can click on weekends off or weekends on, and according to that, all the things in the calendar view will be changed. So if I click on a weekend off, it is only going to show you Friday, but if I click on weekends on, it is going to show Saturday and Sunday as well. But since we have due dates on Saturday and Sunday, we are going to click on weekends on. So that's about the calendar view. So now that we have understood about the board view and calendar view, let's move forward and try to understand more about the dashboard view. So as soon as you click on this dashboard tab, you will be able to see a screen like this. So whenever we are managing a project or the number of tasks, we always want to see that how many tasks we have completed, how many tasks are remaining, what are the overdue tasks, what is the total task count, how many tasks are completed in a particular section, how many are remaining. So if you want to see all of that in a visual way, then dashboard is the correct feature in Asana project management tool. So if you click on the dashboard tab, you will be able to see how many total tasks you have, what is the number of completed tasks. So as of now, we have not completed any task, and that is why it is showing us 0. In incomplete tasks, it is showing us 4 because we have total 4 tasks and we have not completed any tasks. Then overdue tasks are again 0, and you will also be able to see a large number of graphs. Whatever you want to see, you can change the colors and the features of these tasks by customizing it, configure it according to your needs as well. So if you want to see what is the number of incomplete tasks in a particular section, that also you will be able to see from here. For example, there are 3 sections: project initiation, project planning, and project closing. Then what is the number of incomplete tasks in each of these sections? All of that can be managed from here. Upcoming tasks by assignee. And if you want to add a particular task as well, you can just go to this particular button which has a plus sign, add chart. Click on that and you will be able to add any of these charts. Let's say I want to add this chart. I'll click on this and I will click on create. As soon as you do that, you will be able to see a chart like this. If you want to drag it, you can again do that with the help of this button. So you can just double click on that particular tab and you will be able to drag it wherever you want based upon your need. So you can customize all of these things. Now, if you want to delete a particular chart, you can click on these 3 dots and you can remove chart as well. So that completely depends upon the scope and the need of the project. Now let's say I want to go to the list view and I click on any of these projects as completed. So let's say this particular task which says assign project sponsor, this is completed. So I can click on this and mark complete. So as soon as you do that and I close this and go to the dashboard view, you will be able to see that the total tasks are 4, 1 is completed and 3 are incompleted. So it is like a visual representation and you will be able to see very easily how many tasks are completed, how many are remaining. And you can add different number of charts to make it much more easier for you. You can copy those charts, share it with your team so that everyone can understand how many tasks are completed in a particular section, how many are remaining, and according to that they can plan and they can see the due dates as well. So now that we have understood about the different views in Asana project management tool, let's try to understand more about the messages, forms, and files. So as you can see, just adjacent to the dashboard tab, there's an option called more. As soon as you click on that, it is going to show you 3 options which says messages, forms, and files. So let's say we want to talk about messages first. So if you click on messages, you're going to land up on a screen like this. So as soon as you click on send message to a team member, then you can add a subject line. Let's say meeting with the stakeholders. So that's the subject of the message. Then if you want to choose a recipient for that message, you can click over here. So let's say I want to send to all the team members of project 1. So that's my recipient. And then to choose the email text or the message text, you can write the message over here. So whatever you want, you can write over here. And then you can eventually click on send and the message will be sent to all of the team members, to all the recipients basically. So this is the recipient, project 1, all the team members. This is the title or the subject of the particular message. And then this is my message. If I want to edit this message, I can click on this little arrow and I can edit this message. If I want to reply to a particular message, that also can be done from over here. Alright, so that's how it actually works. And if I want to copy the message link also, that can be done from here. And I will be able to copy it and then I can send it to any particular team member. So that's how the bit about messages works. Now if you go again to more and you click on, let's say, files. Now if you talk about files basically, so whatever tasks or projects we have in Asana, now whatever files we have uploaded, all those will be shown in the files tab in a gallery view. For example, let's say I go to the list view and in assign project manager task, I click on this and I add a particular file. So I click on that and attach a file from my computer. Let's say I add a file, a PPT basically. Then if I click on more and go to files, it is going to show me that file. So all the files that I will be adding in a particular task, all those will be shown in a gallery view in the Files tab. Now again, if we talk about the Forms tab, if you click on Forms, it is going to show you this right side pane where you can click on Add Form. So in the Forms tab, you click on Add Forms and it is going to show you a screen like this. Now in this you can choose the lines, whatever welcome message you want to write, name, email ID, you want to add a question, you can just drag these, double click and drag based upon your needs. You can do all of that. If you want to delete a particular tab, you can click on remove field. Again, if you want to add something, you can drag and drop it over here. Once your form is done, you can copy the link, share it with a particular team member. You can just click on done and it will be done for you. Now, if you want to edit this form, you can just again come to this Forms tab. You can click on this pencil sign and you will be able to edit the form again. You click on done when it's done. So that's how Messages, Forms and Files tab work. It is time for me to introduce Jira to you. So what exactly is this tool called Jira? Let's have a look at that. Jira is a project management tool used by agile teams. Now what are agile teams? We will be understanding all of that in our next module. As of now, you just need to understand that Jira is a project management tool and it is generally used by the software development teams. It was launched in 2002 and the website for Jira is www.atlassian.com/software/Jira. What are the important features of Jira? Number one, agile reporting. Number two, rich toolkit for developers. As I told you, this particular tool called Jira Project Management Tool is mostly used by the software development teams. Now, how do we use it? What are the different templates? All of that we will be exploring in the upcoming modules. We can do bug tracking, issue tracking, integration with other tools as well. So one important feature of Jira is that it has integration with some other important useful tools such as Slack, Microsoft Teams, and there are several other 200 plus tools are there that it has integration with, and definitely it makes the entire process very smooth when you're working on a large project. And then mobile apps and customizable workflows, because definitely when we are working on different projects, each and every time we will have to customize the tool according to the specified needs, and that is possible with the help of Jira because we can customize the workflows in this particular project management tool. So these are some of the important features. All right. Now, before we actually move to the website and I show you the user interface of Jira and I show you how exactly to create projects in Jira, it is extremely important for us to understand the basics of agile methodology. We had talked about this word agile quite a few times in this particular module. Now it is time for us to understand that what exactly is agile methodology and what all do we need to remember from this particular methodology. So first of all, let's have a look at agile. Agile is a software development methodology that focuses on assisting teams in getting more work done by allowing them to organize their work. Agile is constantly growing and evolving. It's all about continuously improving as a team. Whenever you talk about a project, there are various tasks in that. If you can manage those tasks and you can organize those tasks, you will remember what to prioritize and what not to prioritize. Definitely the entire work process will be very organized and will be highly managed, and that is definitely allow you to do more work in less time. That is the whole idea behind this methodology called agile, which is a software development methodology. As I already mentioned, that Jira is generally used by the software development teams, and that's why Jira project management tool is extremely important and essential for all the project management teams to learn, especially for the software development teams. And it is always growing, always evolving. It's not like a one time activity for a particular project. It's about continuously improving as a team. Now, what is Agile Board? The Agile Board is a visual framework for displaying and synchronizing tasks as they move through various stages. So first of all, we have a task. Then the task is in progress. And then finally the task is completed. And there can be several other factors as well that we need to consider. So all of that can definitely be customized in the Jira project management tool. But Agile Board, as you can see on the screen as well, this is a small screenshot that I had taken from the Jira platform. To do, in progress, and done. So in to do, we can mention all the tasks that we need to do in order to meet the objectives of a particular project. Then out of those tasks, what are the tasks which are in progress? Those will be in progress. And what are the tasks which are completed, which are finished? That can be in the done set. So that's how it works, and that's called an agile board. So it's nothing but a visual framework for displaying and synchronizing the tasks. So we can move one task which is in to do to in progress when we'll start working on that. And once that task will be finished, we can put it in the done ones. That's how it works, and you can synchronize the task. It will give you a better idea on how far are you from meeting the objectives of a particular project. Now in Agile, there are two frameworks that we have. One is Scrum, one is Kanban. Now you must be asking me that what exactly is the difference between these two frameworks. So Scrum has sprints and Kanban does not. Now you must be thinking, what exactly is a sprint? So a sprint is a predetermined amount of time where teams determine the work to get done. So it's like a time limit that we have. So whenever we talk about Scrum, that is built on short and controlled work sprints. But when we talk about Kanban, it does not have any sprints. It's like evolving. It's a methodology which is more continuous and more fluid. As you can see in the key points, that Kanban and Scrum are two approaches, or you can say two frameworks to putting in place an agile development or project management system. Once you talk about Scrum, it is built on short and controlled work sprints. Once one sprint is over, then we'll have a sprint meeting and we'll move to the another sprint. But that's not how things work in the Kanban framework. So in Kanban methodologies, these are more continuous and more fluid. Let me give you an example. So let's say you have several tasks in a particular project. So in sprint, we'll complete one task, then we'll move to the next task. So one task, it's there in the to do, then it will be in progress, then it will be done. Then we'll go to the next task. So that's how it works. There are sprints, there are limits. But when you talk about Kanban, it's completely fluid and very, very continuous. There's one task which is in to do, that one task is in progress, and at the same time we are getting one more task. So it's more fluid. It does not have any specified sprints. That is the difference between these two frameworks. Sprints, the only difference is of sprints. So in Scrum we have sprints, in Kanban we does not have sprints. All right. Now, before we move forward, it is time for us to understand what are the important terminologies that are used in Jira project management tool. So whenever we'll visit the Jira tool, you will see there are so many terminologies that are written over there. So I don't want you to get confused. That's why we are going to discuss all those important terminologies. So first one is user story. As the name suggests, user stories are nothing but the stories from the user's point of view. A user story is a brief and simplified explanation of a feature in a system that is currently being developed. So as a part of the software development team, what are the systems that you're working on right now? There will not be any technical terms used. Directly from the point of view of the users, the simplified and a brief explanation of the feature in a system. That is nothing but your user story. Sometimes it is simply known as story as well. We call it user story because the most significant aspect of user stories is that they are conveyed from the viewpoint of the user or the person who will utilize the feature. Based upon the end user, these stories are given. These explanations, simplified explanations are given, and that's why these are called user stories. This is nothing but a type of an issue basically whenever we are talking in the Jira project management tool. Now, what is an epic? An epic is a story that is too big for a single sprint. If we have a predetermined amount of work and one story cannot be fit in that, then that will be an epic. That means it is too big for a single sprint. Then that epic can be divided into multiple user stories. So we can say that the epic is container for user stories. There will be so many user stories in one single epic. Then what are issues? Issues are containers for fields such as summary, assignee, due date, description. These are nothing but examples of your fields which contains the data. So issues are containers for such fields. Issues are the building blocks of any projects, and stories, epics, bugs are types of issues in Jira. So how it works is there are projects which are container for the issues. Then these issues are the container for the fields, and these fields contain the actual data. Example for fields can be summary, assignee, due date, description. An example for issues can be stories, epics, bugs, etc. Then projects are nothing but containers for your issues, as I told you. So if you go in terms of subset, so your issues are nothing but the subset of your projects, and then the fields are nothing but the subset of your issues, and then these fields contain the actual data. So that's how this actually works. All right. So now that you have understood the basics of project management tools and the importance of such tools, and you have also understood what exactly is Jira project management tool, it is time for us to go to the website and sign in and understand what exactly is the user interface of this particular tool like. So now we'll visit the website atlassian.com/software/Jira, as we have already discussed in our previous modules, and we will be seeing what exactly is there on this particular tool. All right. So as soon as you'll visit this particular website and you'll sign in, you'll land up on a particular page like this. So here you will be able to see so many tabs and so many options are there. If you go in the left hand side, you will be able to see dots like this. If you'll click on that, you will be able to see all the Atlassian products over here, such as Jira Service Management, IT Service Management, Slack. All these options will be given over here. We have taken Jira software. Now, in the right of that, you will be able to see a tab, Your Work, where you will be able to see all the issues, projects that are assigned to you, the recent one, the boards as well. If you click on the project, you will be able to see the agile board basically that we have already discussed. There are to do, in progress, and done tabs over here. If you want to add more tabs, you can just click on the plus button and you will be able to create more columns here. Then you can go to the filters tab too if you want to search for issues across all projects and save them as filters. Then you can see the visual representation of all these projects in the dashboard tab, where you can create a dashboard or track the status of your projects in a very visual representation form. Then if you click on people, you will be able to see all the collaboration. If you want to invite somebody or you want to start a team, that can be done from here. Then if you go in the right hand side, you will be able to see a button like this where you can see your profile, your name, and whatever you have written. Then you can, if you want to change the personal settings, that can also be done from this settings button. If you want to understand anything about Jira that you are not able to understand, you can just go to this question mark, that is the help button, and all the basic details that we have already discussed. Maybe it is related to agile methodology, the Kanban, Scrum, anything. All these things are written over here, so it can easily help you. All the questions are written in very detail, so you will be able to get answers to your queries that you have related to Jira project management tool. If you click on this bell icon, you will be able to see all the notifications. If somebody has sent you any message, if there is any unread message, the read message, all those things will be over here, which last for around 30 days in this particular tab. Now we'll move forward and I will be showing you how exactly to create a team managed project and how to move forward with that. Before that, I will also be telling you how exactly to differentiate between a team managed and a company managed project. And then we'll see in details how exactly a team managed project is created and how it is managed eventually. All right. Now let me tell you what exactly is the difference between team managed and company managed projects when it comes to Jira project management tool. So when you talk about Jira and you try to sign in as well, you will be getting an option which type of project you want to create, whether you want to create a team managed project or you want to create a company managed project. So what exactly are these two types of projects in Jira project management tool? That is something we will be exploring in this particular module. So first of all, let's discuss about team managed projects. As you can see on the screen, these were used to be called next gen projects and renamed to team managed projects in 2021. So initially we used to call them next gen projects, but now these particular projects are known as team managed projects. It does not require admin permissions to create. These are fast and easy to set up and maintain. These are actually most common ones. So if you talk about the company managed projects, there you will require the admin permission to create those projects. But if you talk about team managed projects, you will not require any admin permission in order to create those projects. That's why we will be discussing in detail about the team managed projects. So if you talk about company managed projects, these were used to be called classical projects and these were renamed to company managed projects again in 2021, just like the team managed projects. These require admin permission to create and these are complicated to set up and maintain. Why is all this happening? It is very simple to understand. There are two types of projects that you can create in Jira. Number one, team managed projects. Number two, your company managed projects. If you want to create a team managed project, you do not require any admin permission, and these are very simple because you do not require any permission, so you can directly start and create a project and start working on it right away. But on the other hand, if you talk about company managed projects, you will require admin permission to create these kind of projects. In that case, it will be very complicated to set up and again to maintain as well. That is the simple difference between team managed and company managed projects. Now moving forward with this course, I will be telling you how exactly to create and navigate through a team managed project. Alright, so now that you have understood the difference between team managed and company managed projects, it is time for me to tell you how exactly to create a project in Jira project management tool. So in order to create a project, you just need to go to this project tab. As soon as you will click here, you will be able to see an option like this which says create project. You just need to click on that particular option and you will be able to see all these project templates. So right now we are on the software development and we are getting Kanban, Scrum as the options. If you go to any other template, such as let's say we go to service management, and in that we go to IT service management. And if we want to try this template, we don't really have the access for that. So for that, you will have to buy the premium version of this particular tool. Right now we are on the free trial, so we'll not be able to access all these particular templates. We will have access to only a small number of templates. So if you go to any other of these tabs and you try, if there's a lock button, that means you won't have access to it. But if you go to, let's say, software development and you choose the Kanban tab template, you will be able to land up on this particular page, and we can use this template as there is no lock button. So even if you are in the free trial and you want to use Kanban or Scrum as a part of software development project template, you can do that and you will have access for it even in your free sample. So if you go to use template, you will be able to find this option, choose a project type. So we have already taken the project template as Kanban and we have rejected the Scrum one. That again depends upon your project. If you want to use Scrum, you can choose Scrum. If you want to use Kanban, you can choose Kanban. I have already told you the difference between these two templates, that if you choose Scrum, that works on sprints, but Kanban is more fluid. Again, I have already discussed that there are two project types that you will be able to create in this particular project management tool called Jira. That is team managed and company managed. But one thing that you really need to remember is that if you create a team managed project, you cannot later on switch it to company managed project. That can be done in case of a template. If you have taken Kanban template and later on you want to switch to, let's say, Scrum, you can do that. But if you want to switch your project from team managed to company managed, that will not be possible. So make sure if you want to use team managed, then you will have to stick to that. And if you want to switch to company managed, you will have to create a new project, as it is written over here as well, that you will need to create a new project if you decide to switch project types later from one project to another. So here we will be discussing about the team managed project. So let's choose this one and click on select a team managed project. As soon as you will click on that, you will find option which is add project details. So let's say we are going to name this particular project as project sample 1. Then it will choose a key on its own, that is PS1, and we'll click on the create project. We'll also have to choose the access. Let's say we take private, or we can choose open. That depends upon the scope and the kind of projects that you are working on. As soon as you'll do that, you just need to click on create project, and the process is very, very simple. You have to choose a template. You have to choose the type of the project, whether you want to go for team managed or you want to go for company managed, and you just need to create a project. As soon as you'll do that, you will be able to see an agile board like this. So the name of our project is project sample 1, as we have named, and the key for that is PS1 board. So this is our agile board where you will be able to see 3 columns like this, which says to do, in progress, and done. If you want to add more columns, you just need to click on this plus button and you will be able to do that as well. All right. So as soon as you will create a team managed project, you will land up on a particular page like this where you will be able to see an agile board which says 3 columns are there: to do, in progress, and done. Now, in order to create an issue in this particular project or in this particular agile board, you just need to click on this simple plus button which says create issue. As soon as you'll click on that, you can name your task. Let's say I name my task as task 1, which is website 2.0. Let's just name it randomly and you click on enter and your task is created. Again, if you want to create, let's say, a task 2, and that is also done. And if you want to move one task from one tab to another, that is also possible. So let's say we click on this task 1 website 2.0 and we want to put it in progress. You just need to drag and drop it in that particular column. Again, if you want to move this task 2 from, let's say, to do to done, you can again drag and drop it to done. If you want to add more columns, you need to click on this plus button in the right hand side. As soon as you'll click on that, you just need to name that particular tab. Let's say we name it as quality analysis or QA, and we click on the tick mark. It's done. If you want to move it, let's say we want to analyze the thing first and then we want to put it in done, then again you can drag and drop it and you can put it in QA. So that's how it works, and you can create different tasks in one project and you can see who exactly is assigned to that particular task. So right now there is nobody other than me, so only my name is coming over here. But if I want to add more people, add teams, that can also be done, and we can also see who are the assignees for a particular project. And then if you want to group this by assignees or by subtasks, that can be done from this particular button which says group by assignees or subtasks. That is also possible. Now if you click on any of these tasks, you will be able to see all the details related to that particular task. So all the summary and everything will be mentioned over here. Now to whom you want to assign this particular task, that can be managed from here. So let's say I assign this particular task to myself. Now once that is done, you just need to click here and you will be able to see my name over here. Similarly, if you want to assign task 2 also to some team member, you click on task 2, you go to this particular assignee details tab, you click here and you assign it to the member whom you want to assign to, and click on close and you will be able to see this particular name. And then if you'll group by that particular person, let's say group by assignee, you will be able to see all the tasks which are assigned to me, then the tasks which are assigned to somebody else in the team will be grouped together. So that's very simple way of creating or managing a particular project by dividing it into tasks and managing those tasks. Now if you again go to your work, you will be able to see all the projects that you are working on right now. So whatever tasks which are in progress or whatever tasks which are in the quality analysis phase, all those things you will be able to see in the assign to me tab.
Now, finally, it's the time to introduce you to the most important tool that we currently is in demand is called Slack project management tool. So we'll look at what exactly is Slack, what are the main components, main features of it, then we'll get started on their website. So let me tell you what it is. It is a task management software. As we all know, it can be downloaded on your laptop, it can be downloaded, it can be worked online on your browser as well. So it was launched way back in 2013 when it was not quite popular because the internet was gaining momentum at that time, but people were very focused on using emails rather than using a project management tool. But now the things have changed. Now the technology has grown exponentially that we want to use certain softwares that can increase our productivity. So we can find Slack in www.slack.com. We will look about it in a greater depth going forward. Now let's talk about the important features of Slack. Now Slack has a lot of, advantages over a conventional email ecosystem. So the number one is it is customizable. It allows you to customize your home setup in the way your teams feel more productive. Second is the clear goal setting for teams. So for every channel, we'll talk about what channel is, but for every task that is being done, you can have a separate window for it, and you can clearly set the goals in the description box, the agenda of that particular task that has to be followed, and clear goal setting for so that all the individuals in that particular organization know what you are doing. Next is the integration with other useful apps. Now, if a project management tool has to exist, it needs to collaborate, it needs to be accessible to the other apps. For example, Gmail, for example, Google Drive, Dropbox, Outlook, all these things to be integrated within the particular project management tool, because we don't want switching applications. Like if you're using Slack, then you would go to your Gmail, you would go to your Google Calendar and all those stuff. So it would be a waste of time if it was to be switched between different applications. But Slack project management tool allows you to have all these other external stakeholders inside that particular app so that you don't have to switch tabs, right? So this is a very important feature in Slack project management. Next is easy progress tracking. Now, with a particular objective in mind, with a particular task in mind, the most important aspect that comes is that particular task being operated in the way it needs to be? Is it on track? Is it in sync with what the external or the internal stakeholders want? So the progress tracking is one such step in which Slack is way ahead of others. It has a very customizable way of tracking the progress of a particular individual in that particular team. Next is privacy controls. Now, we need to understand that with so many companies in the market and you have competition with their rivals, you need to know that privacy plays a very integral part for an individual as well as for an organization. Now, Slack have different channels. We'll talk about that in greater depth. So it has private channels and public channels. Private channels can only be accessed by invites from the admins, cannot be seen by anyone else in that organization. So privacy is very important, and Slack is at the top in when it comes to privacy. It knows that it has to maintain its integrity. So privacy is number one priority for Slack project management. Then comes breaking project into tasks. Now with a very high scope of a particular project, it comes that there can be multiple objectives or there can be a very big goal to achieve. Now, we as humans have tendency to go one step at a time, so we break that particular big objective into smaller achievable steps so that we can be more comfortable in achieving those. So Slack project management allows you to break those big tasks, big objectives into smaller steps so that everyone is in sync with what they are doing. All right, now let's get started with Slack on their website. So as I have already mentioned before, in order to get started with Slack, you need to click on www.slack.com. So you will enter in the particular website of Slack. So this is the website of Slack project management. As you can see, there are different sort of things that the Slack is telling us. That is your digital headquarter. You can find everything here. You don't need a physical building for it. You can manage everything from just this particular application. So it's telling you about faster by organizing your work life, focus your time on your own terms and all that stuff. So as you can see on the left top corner, you have the Slack, and under the product category you can see different features. If I click on features, it will tell you what are all the features. Now this is more accessible to everyone, every individual. You can try it for free. Slack is free, but more features you can attain when you are in the enterprise version of it or the organization version of it. So work more easily with everyone. So the number one thing that they are highlighting here is called channels. So you have different types of, as you have groups in your WhatsApp, so similar to that, you have productivity groups called as channels in Slack. So the number one thing, that is channels. Second is Slack Connect. Now Slack Connect is nothing but if your organization has hired a third party organization or a third party vendor that you are collaborating with, so you don't want to give your entire information to them, right? So in that particular case, you would be giving access to certain parts of it. So that is through Slack Connect. So the other organization will be in collaboration with your organization on certain levels to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. Next is messaging. So messaging is the most important part, that if you don't want something that should be typed on the group, you can privately or direct message it to the person that you want to do it. So that is through messaging. Then you have voice and video calls. Now in the era in which everything is remote in the post COVID times, so the integration of voice and video calls is a must to any project management tool. So more than that, you have apps and integrations. As I have already mentioned you before, that Slack provides you integration. You don't need to switch tabs to other tabs to look at what Slack is. So in that particular case, the apps and the integrations that are required, like Google Drive, Google Calendar, Microsoft Office, Dropbox, and all these stuff, they are already included or already integrated in this platform, right? You can actually click and see what all these are there. 2200 they say. They have collaboration. You don't have to pay any other cost, any additional cost to use Slack or to use those integrated programs. You have apps that are unified and secure. It's always apps that can keep work and information right at your fingertips, at your command. So all these things are included. On the move you can go, productivity you have. So as you can see, they have these productivity apps. Now you can go through all those apps that you maybe require. So to do list is one, you have different Asana project management tool, again Slack for Gmail. All right. Now, if you want to know that if the work that you're doing is secure or not, so in this security tab, you can actually know what the fundamentals of how Slack works. So if you click on view data sheet over here, you can actually look at what the certifications are in terms of privacy, the European standards that are being followed over here. So all these things you can know in greater depth if you read this particular document. It is very transparent. It is very highly focused on protecting your data and identifying and managing the devices that you're working in. All right. Next comes, so I would like to show you what channels are. So if you want to know what different channels are, you can visit this particular page of channels. They will tell you what exactly channel is. But anyways, I will be giving you a greater in-depth hands-on view on what channels are going forward. So as I already mentioned you before, there are private channels, there are public channels, and there are connections through external stakeholders. So you, as it has mentioned, public channels, that is, that is viewable to everyone. Then you have private channels in which the invite only feature works, and then it is Slack Connect when you have collaborations with third party vendors. You have different blogs in which they would be telling you how Slack works, how you can increase your efficiency through Slack. All right. Now, when you want to download this particular application, how can you do so? So you can click on this particular tab called Sign In, and then you can create on the right hand corner. You have created an account if you don't already. So you can create your account. You can, put your email ID, and then you can sign up for this particular application. Or if you don't want to do this, you can directly go try for free option. You can click on this particular tab, and then again you can, you know enter your email and sign up to that particular thing. All right. So after creating your account, the first thing that it will, there are total three steps that need to be followed. The first step is that they will be asking you, what is the name of your company or the team that you are trying to build? Okay, let's just say we create a team called Time Management. All right. So you can create a team. Next is, what is the team currently working on? You could type anything. You would type increasing mm, work productivity, right? You can create this. Now the third step they would be asking is, who do you email the most about these things? What are the team members that you want to add? So you want to add, you can add any name. Let's just say I give a particular name to it. When you write this particular thing, you can see there is one another, a tab that opens up for other members to add. You don't really need to do anything. You can just, so it will keep coming up one after the other. You want to remove it, you can just cancel it, and you can just add, you can either skip this particular step or you can add teammates, right? So this is done. Now, one more feature is that if you don't want to use Slack on the particular browser, you can always download it. How do you do that? I'll let you know how to do that. Okay. This is the particular dashboard that displays when you log in, when you create a particular team. So you can say let's go and everything. All right. So now I'll be showing you how to the certain promotion that comes up for Slack. All right. So you can enable your notifications from this. If you click on enable notifications, then whenever a notification comes, the particular Windows, right? This is a Windows laptop. So Windows will give you a pop-up saying that you have a notification in Slack. So I don't want it, so I'll say don't do it here. Now, in this particular dashboard, we can see that our team is called Time Management. As I have mentioned, now you can browse the different channels. So there is a general channel in which all the people, they can actually look at what you're working on. You can type in what you are doing. Second is the increased work productivity that I have put into picture. Now, in this particular channel, I have a friend that whose email, I have already mentioned it here. So I can click on here, I can direct chat him as well. I can say hi to him, or you can just be what you are. This particular space, right, in which you have signed in, so there will be always a thing in which you want to keep track of something for yourself. You can click here, hello, you can put here meeting at 7 p.m., just for your own reminder, just for you keeping your notes, right, for yourself. You can do it by this particular tab. Now, Slack consists of three major things, that is called channels. Number three is direct messages. Number four is Slack Connect. So since I'm not working on any collaborations with any external stakeholders, that particular tab is not being shown. Otherwise, you would have another tab here stating Slack Connect. Now, the channels, right? So all the team members, the greater the different tasks that you're performing, greater would be the channels that are being created, right? You can browse anything. You can browse all DMs, mentions, and reactions. Slack Connect. You can also click on this, see how it works. It will give you a complete tour, send an invite to the particular team that you're working with, external to your organization. You can get a brief timeline on how it is done. Now, you have random stuff in it in which you have these are certain channels that already gets created once you log in or once you sign up for Slack. Now I would also give you a particular thing that if you want to not work on browser, you want a particular dedicated app for it. So on their website slack.com, you can go to the end of the page and you have a particular option called as download Slack. So I'll click on it. So it will give whatever. Now you can choose whatever system that you're using. Since I'm using Windows, so it already shows me that download Slack for Windows. I have a 64-bit processor, so I'll just click on 64-bit, and as you can see, it is running the application. If I click on this, all right, so it has downloaded into Slack. I'll just click on sign in. If I directly have to sign up, I can create a new workspace, or I can just create a particular account. So I have already signed up, so I'll just click on sign into Slack. Now it shows me what are the works. Since I have two particular emails, so it shows me two particular things. So I'll click on the ones that I'm currently working on and click on open. So it will give me a redirection message that you have already downloaded Slack on your laptop. So open Slack. So this particular application will start running. All right, so I will be using Slack on the browser itself. So you have random things that come up. Now I would like to give you a brief description of what channels are. So now what are these channels? Now channels bring order and clarity to the work that you're doing. You can create them for your project, your topic, the team that you're working with, and can be a channel for everything that you're doing. You can focus on the conversation and the work that is on priority. So that is the most important meaning of what channels are. Now the second most important thing is that it creates alignment in the work process that you're doing. So it provides you and your team with a shared view, with the same work that is being done, with the access to the same information. Everyone can be in sync with the way that you are doing that particular thing. So as I have mentioned before, that Slack has actually three major things called as public channels. Now, as you can see here, hashtag journal is a public channel, right? Now, these channels are open to anyone of your company to join and find in what you are doing. So it increases transparency while allowing everyone to be benefited with the context of the conversation of the things that you are putting out there. Now, the second most important part is private channels. Now, for sensitive or any confidential information that you don't want anyone else apart from the ones that you want to see, so only those can be invited in that particular channel and find the contents that are in that particular thing. So in order to make a channel private, what you would do, you will click on that particular channel, let's say increasing work productivity, then write to the my name of the company or the name of the thing that I'm doing, time management. There is a small downward arrow, so I'll click on that. Then I'll click on preferences, right? So a window will open. So in that I have privacy and visibility, so I'll click on that, and then I will be so what you want to do is, you don't want anyone to see it, you said no one, and you can just cancel that particular thing. So now this becomes a private channel. So now anyone else apart from organization cannot look at that particular thing. You can add channels, create a new channel, you can say xyz thing, name of the channel, let's just say this is the, okay, a description. You can write the description. Now description are important stuff. The reason is that the person who are joined recently that to that particular channel would know what is the purpose of that particular channel, right? So you can write, which is optional. Then also, while making the channel, you have an option called make private. So when a channel is private, it can be viewed by invitation, as I already mentioned before. So I can click on that and then create, right? So I can also add people to it. So if you have a group, then you can directly add the group, or I have the name, I'll click on this, I'll click on add. Right, so that particular channel will be created and you can start typing again. Now typing also has different options to it. You can, you can make it bold, you can make it italics, you can strike off that particular thing, or you can add a particular file or a particular link that you want them to add, like let's say slack.com. I can add, so it will open up a pop-up window and I can post that particular thing. So if I click on this, a browser will open slack.com. So links can be shared in a very convenient manner, or you can also add, you can upload from your computer any file that you want to upload. You can create a post, you can set a reminder. Okay, you can set, okay, let's say there on 19th December, 9 a.m. there is a meeting, so I can create, so everyone would know that I will remind you meeting at 9 a.m. today, view reminders, something like of that sort. Now if you want to type in suggestions in pointers, you can also do so. You can just write xyz to create pointers. When you have typed a particular point, then you click on shift and enter, so it gets to the second point. You can write shift enter. Then if you click on only enter, then that the particular thing will go as it is. So this is how the main user interface work. You can also change, you can also hide formatting, you can also display formatting. So all these things can be mentioned. More than that, you can schedule a particular message. So if you want to say hello everyone, please share your weekly reports. So you can also click on the time in which you want to send. You can schedule it for that particular time, so it will go at that particular time in that particular thing. So it will be marked in the particular taskbar, we would say, on the left hand side, scheduled one. So it would go at that particular level, at that particular thing. Now the ones with hashtags, right, hashtags right next to it, are open to everyone outside the organization also. So as I already mentioned, if you want to restrict that, you can go on the downward arrow, preferences, privacy, no one. So apart from your organization, no one else can see. And if you want to make that particular channel private to only the individuals that you want, then you can create the channels and make it private already, right? So all these things can be done. Now the ones that is private to only a few individuals will show a lock sign in front of it, others will show a hashtag sign in front of it. Okay, so this is the thing. You can also add different people, you can search different people. I don't have many people on Slack, so I don't really add, so I can't really add more people to it. But now as you can see that this view can sometimes be very cluttered, right? Sometimes it can be very, challenging to find out which channel you are looking at or which person you are texting. So in that scenario, what you can do is you can again click on the preferences tabs, and then you can, yeah, click on sidebar. Now you can always show in the sidebar. So this sidebar, you can all unread messages only, or you can create all mentions and reactions, all DMs, Slack Connect, channel browser, file browser, or you can just, change it to how you want to look at. You want to look at by alphabetical order. The most recent ones will show on the top, channels alphabetically, so the entire thing will be generated in alphabetical order. So Now now all your conversations, right, you can only do it 100 conversations only. So what will happen in this case is that all your channels will just pop away, it will just go away. All those one in which the message has been generated will be displayed. Other than that, everything will go away. So you can change it again in the sidebar according to the way you want. Plus your start, now you can also star your particular channel. How to do so I will tell you. Sidebar, all your conversations, right, all the channels that you have. Now how to do it, you can star that particular channel, so it will be generated in start. Now the start ones are mostly used for the ones that are in your daily communication or that you most oftenly text into. So this is that particular channel that will be created in the start sidebar. All right. After seeing all the basic channels, how to download Slack, what are the different channels of Slack, how do they operate, I'll give you some productivity tips and key features that are essential to know when working on Slack. So we start off by going to the right top corner in which I have my profile symbol. So when I click on it, I can edit my status, I can edit my profile. So let's go to the profile preference here. Now, since we all are working remote, so it's advisable for everyone to update their profile pic so that the person in your community, the person in your business entity and your organization would clearly know who you are, right? So you can edit your profile from here. You can change your name, my name. Let me write my name. You can put up a profile picture. What do I do? Let's say soft, let's say design expert, right? So I can save these changes. I can add my phone number, where do I live, which time zone I am in, and we can save changes. So it will appear up in the particular profile menu. Then apart from it, what you can also do, since you're working in organization and you're working remote, so what would happen, you would have to update your profile status, right? You would, if you are on leave, you can put up vacation or sick leave, in a meeting, you are on your way to work. So you can actually put all these things in setting a status of what you are currently working on. You can actually put a custom status, working, or I can just say recording, right? So these things can be saved. So what would happen is it would appear to the people in your organization, okay, you are recording something, right? So this will be how it works. One more thing is that to be little more productive, what you can do is on in the sidebar, you have a mode menu. If you click on that mode menu, you would have different sort of things. So I'll click on customize this list in your preferences. When I click this, I get this dialog box, and now I'll see what I can do in this. So in the sidebar part of it, you see channel browser. Now the point that comes it, if you are working on multiple projects at random and you need to search which channel by their name and you don't really want to waste your time scrolling through the list, so you will click the checkbox of this. Second is people, users and groups, and the third is apps. Now I'll tell you in a greater depth what all these three are. So let's see. So I have added all the three components: the channel browser, the people and user groups, and apps. So it shows me in the sidebar. So when I click on channel browser, I can search the channel. Let's say I have made increasing work productivity, right? So it will come up here. Which one? Since I have only 4 channels over here, so it doesn't really mean to browse it. But if you have multiple channels across this platform, then it is advisable to use channel browser for quick productivity. Next come people then users. All right. So this is what the IT team of a particular or service management team does in a particular organization. So if there are like 1400 or 1500 employees, so all their designations, all their contact details will be uploaded by them onto this platform on the backend server, right? So you don't really need to add particular people in this. They will already be added. Okay. So for example, I have only one person here. So it shows me 2 people that are already added, right? So this is how you can actually randomly put up something, and if they are on Slack, you can add them, or if they are not, then you can actually send them an invite, or if you are sending it to the entire team, you can just copy invite link, right? The third is the apps. As I've already mentioned before, that Slack integrates all the different third party apps that are needed to increase your work productivity. So in this case, you would have Google Drive, you would have Zoom meetings, you would have Jira Cloud, you would have Outlook Messenger. So all these things, Asana, box file. So all these things you can actually add. Let me show you how. You can just click on this, then it will show you the Google app directory. So you can add it in this particular thing, add to Slack. All right. So yeah, so if you allow these permissions, it will get added to Slack project management, right? So in this way, you can also, and it is already always advisable to use more of these apps if your productivity increases hencefold from this particular thing. You can add Google Calendars, you can add Google Drive, you can add all sort of ways in which you can increase your productivity, right? You can actually search, let's say box to search. So box will come here. If your files are shared through box in your organization, you can use it. Else, anyways, team Gantt is there for making Gantt charts. So all in this way, you can increase your productivity in Slack. Now let's talk about the best practices that needs to be followed while making the channels and while working on different channels. So what happens is that we create channels. So we need to give the input to the organization, or we need to give the input to that particular channel about what that channel is all about. We need to give a brief description about it. So let me just create a quick channel. So I'll create a channel. Let's say I can, let's say budget. Okay. So budget me. Description, this is about creating a budget. So when I create this particular channel, I can add people to it. All right. I have to create a description out of it. So what I will do, I'll just click on edit description and write, I can add it and save it. So the purpose of this is that it becomes more convenient for anyone to know what it is. Okay, so it comes in best practices. Second most important part of it is that whatever the files that are being shared and which one of them are the most important one, you should pin those particular files so that any person who comes to the channel could look at what are the most relevant stuff they need and not is the cluttered part of it. The main purpose of Slack is to increase the clarity of working, increase the productivity of working, and also decrease the dependency of emails, right? So this is the purpose of Slack. So more than that, what else we can do in this particular thing is that we can create announcement channels. Okay, so what are these announcement channels? So sometimes there are situations in which you need to tell your entire team that the goals have been achieved, what are the different acquisitions that the company has taken, and what are the workshop, if there are any workshop on mental health or something like that that have come up, a webinar sort of thing. So you don't want people to type in that particular channel, you just want people to see, okay, this is the event that is coming up. So hence you create announcement channels in which the administrator can post different stuff, but the people can only view it or not particularly take action on that particular thing. Okay, so say, and one more important thing is that if you have any meeting, right, so Slack automatically gives you Slack bots which give them regular reminders on what are their deadlines, what are the meetings that are coming place, if there is any meeting that is happening. So all these things will be taken care by Slack bots. And lastly, a very important thing is that there are multiple files, multiple presentations that have been posted in the channel, right? So it is your responsibility to pin the one that is the most recent one and the most updated one so that everyone looks to that while they are referring to something and not other files, right? All right. So if you want to set up custom Slack bot messages, how do you do that? How do you respond to that particular thing, right? So what we'll do is we'll click on the sidebar and we'll click on time management, the downward arrow, and then we'll go to settings and administration. Then click on customize time management as you can see. Then there is an option called as Slackbot. If I click on Slackbot, you can actually search for the responses, right? When someone says Slackbot response. Okay, so I'll click on plus add new response. When someone says I in office, if someone says I'm in office, what would the bot respond? Please come to fifth floor, right? So whenever someone texts you that I'm in office, you can tell them please come to fifth floor. So this is a custom that you don't have to particularly type it out to that person. The Slackbot will be here to assist you on that particular note. You can consider Slackbot as your personal assistant that will take care of most of the stuff that is irrelevant to your time, which takes a lot of time or brain space to do so. So that is why Slackbot helps you in doing achieving that. One more thing that you can do while you are on Slack is that sometimes you really want to send out, you know, custom emojis. So how would you do that without searching on that particular emoji tab? Is that let's just say you want to create a dogs picture. So you'll add plus colon dog, right? So it would automatically come into picture and you can just send it out. So this is how you would do it. If you really don't want to scroll through the emoji tab, you can say, let's say one more. I'll add plus colon cat and I click OK and send it. So it will go into that particular area. So this is how. Now these are some of the productivity hacks that we learned in this course.
So now let's go deep diving into the main topic, that is introduction to Zoho projects. Right. So now we'll be here discussing about what exactly a Zoho project is. So basically Zoho project is a cloud-based project management software which was introduced or launched in 2006. Now, as you can see on the screen, the website to Zoho projects is www.zoho.com/projects. Now, apart from being a web-based project management tool, it combines the collaboration and the management capabilities. And apart from this, it also has the reporting capabilities for that actually helps a lot in a project for project managers to actually monitor the individual or a group of individual with respect to their task that has been assigned to them. Right. Now, beyond being a project management or a project management solution tool, it uses the power of social media software to manage the projects online, right? So Zoho Projects brings or onboards the entire team together and assists them to complete their job online. So that's how Zoho Project is actually so much helpful for business organizations and also very useful for project manager to monitor any particular series of tasks that is to be completed before a particular deadline and submitted for review or for the final production, right? So now let's move ahead and understand what are the main features of Zoho projects, right? Now, talking about the first feature of Zoho projects, we have task management. So basically, Zoho projects enables us to divide the task or subdivide the task amongst the group of members or the team members. That is the work breakdown structure. Then we have issue management and the different task views wherein the project manager can view the tasks of what and all updates or how is the progress of each task that is being taking place, right? Then we have the customization option. So basically in customization option, it includes the layouts, it includes the custom fields, the custom views, and the custom statuses of different tasks that has been used. Basically, you can rearrange the view of the projects that are being assigned onto Zoho project. So this I'll be showing you when we'll be doing the hands-on demonstrations. And then we have the next thing, that is the team collaboration. So basically in team collaboration, there that is exactly meaning the how the team different teams collaborate with each other with respect to a single project, right, in completion of the single project. So basically there is a section of feeds wherein different teams can come in and mention different people's name and tag along the issues what are they facing, and then get the rectified solutions. So there is an option of feeds, there is option of chatting, there are forums that can be created, that is small groups, and a lot more functions like email alias and different functions that can be inculcated in Zoho projects. Now, coming to the next function, that is automation. So basically, you can create a blueprint. For example, you can if any process that is having any regular procedure, that is the same one procedure is followed for any initiating any project, that can be a mundane task when so many project comes into picture, right? So you can automate this thing with respect to the particular blueprint. So basically, you can assign that to initiate a project, you'll have to go through the following steps and create this steps to particular steps so that he can only proceed through the next step by completing the first task. So that's how you can actually automate the process which are mundane or which are repetitive in any project, right? So that's how you automate. That's another feature that Zoho project brings in with it. Now coming to time management, that is one of the most important things that any project would be actually looking forward to, right? So now in Zoho projects there are timers, there are timesheet, there are invoicing and budgeting and calendar. Basically, there are timers that count downs the amount of time that is left to complete the project or any complete the task. Then there is a timesheet wherein the number of amount of time that is spent on the task can be logged into manually or automatically with respect to the activity that is being shown in the Zoho project. And this way, the amount of productive time can be calculated for any particular group of individuals or for a single person, right? So that's how time management is also managed in Zoho project. Now coming to the next feature, that is the charts and reports. Basically in Zoho project they have the task reports, the issue reports, the timesheet reports, everything as a particular report along with it. It has the project dashboard, the budget forecasting also with respect to it, wherein you can create good reports with respect to all the features that is being provided in Zoho projects. Now coming to the next one, that is the user administration. So basically user administration is basically taken care of the admin, wherein you can add profiles. If any new hires are coming in, you can create the profile with respect to his name, designation, then the role, what is he using. And if you are actually providing services to outside clients, for example in IT sector, you can provide the client users also, you can give particular restricted access to them as well to the project so that the client can view how well the project is in progress. So this is something that user administration actually provides, that is available in Zoho projects. And it is also very easy for the administrator to actually look into the resource management, wherein we can understand whether that work is distributed evenly, and we can also understand that whoever has completed can get any other work that is reassigned to him, right? So that's how human administration works. Now another beautiful feature of Zoho projects is the Zoho integration. So basically, Zoho has a lot of integration with Zoho Sprints, the analytics, the customer relationship management, CRM, the desk, the book, and the invoice, click, and a mail, meetings, people. So many integrations along with it, which you guys can actually you get benefit out of it. So all this Zoho analytics and the CRM helps the businesses understand how the sales figure or the analytics team, it helps the analytics teams to get insights within the project management tool, and also the CRM also helps in understanding the customer as well. So these are the beautiful features, that is Zoho integration and all the other features that were discussed, which makes Zoho projects a very good project management tool. All right, guys. So now you have understood a lot of things that is related to project management, and also you have understood what exactly is Zoho project management tool and also what are its important features, right? Now, let's directly move to their website and understand the tool by getting our hands dirty inside the tool, right? So let's me open up Windows in incognito mode and just type Zoho projects on your browser, and you can see the first site, that is https www.zoho.com/projects. Click on there and you will land up to a page that is the official page of Zoho project management tool, where you have the sign up option. So one thing that I would like to tell to all of you guys is that by attending this video course or the tutorial on this map project management tool, you might not have a clear idea or proper understanding of how these tools work, right? So basically, if you have to resonate that you are having so many ideas for bringing up a startup, but you are not implementing it or executing the ideas that are coming to you. Until and unless you are executing your ideas to the fullest, only then you will actually understand what are the different kinds of problems that your startup or an idea that you are planning to make a business out of it. You will understand what are the different types of problems, and only then you will think of the profits and revenue. In the same manner, using a project management tool also, you need to get into the project management tool, try out different things, try out generating a new project and understanding what are the learning curve, what is the difficulty in learning the tool, what are the different features it is offering. So and another important feature of different management tools is that they provide a free trial for all the users, so that the users can actually get in a hang of the project management tool. So you need to just sign up to Zoho projects, go and sign up. Even they are saying it's just a 30 seconds process to sign up. Given a give some company name, project project management. I put project management at Great Learning, and I put in a fake email and password and created a account. You can put into your own email ID and create your account. So after you have created your account, you will get a dashboard which will directly put land you to a page which is showing this way. Now here they have written that your trial period will expire in 10 days. They are giving a 10-day free trial, right? So, as a new beginner, you just require this 10-day trial period to understand what exactly the tool is. Now, if you want to actually learn about the tool more and more, you can take the premium account and get a mastery over the tool, because any skill that you have mastery over will be definitely helping you in securing any project or any job, right? So that is depending upon your interest. Now, talking about the user interface of Zoho project, so this is the page that you will land to when you do after you sign up, and then click on the next button and getting entered to the Zoho projects dashboard. So here is the profile that you can see. Then you have a first page that you'll be landing is into the project there, and wherein you will be understanding the different projects that is already active. Now let's go to the first tab, that is the home tab. So basically in the home tab, it gives a proper understanding of what all things are actually running inside the project inside the organization. So basically here we have two project management tool, the completed projects, the open tasks, the open issues, client companies, the project groups, and different types of informations have been provided here, right? Now coming to the second option, that is the feed. So basically a project, as I told you, the features, one of the most important features of a project management tool is the cross-departmental conversation or communication. So here is where you can actually communicate to different departments. So you can send message to all projects, or you can send it to any particular projects over here. Click on the message. If you had to mention any person in particular, you can do that. You can do that as well, and click on the submit, and then it goes to the person whom you have mentioned it, right? Now going to the issues, if you go to the home button, there is one more feature that you can actually navigate these things, like you can customize it according to your thing. And in the home button you can actually have a lot of things, like there are my tasks, there are my issues, the works that are getting, is it on due, is it some work overdue, the milestone, the timesheet, and a lot more things are there. Now you can see if you had to open the task, you can go there and click there. Again, you can find out what and all are pending. And if you are going to open issues, there are issues that you can track here. These are some custom made issues that Zoho project indirectly gave us so that we can get a good understanding of what it can do. If you open it, you can see that in progress. So there are different things that they are showing. There can be comments that what is the progress, what is the update, right? You can add a comment, and if the project is or the issue is closed, like basically you can close it over here and the issue gets updated. And when you close it, when you go back to the home menu, you can see that instead of 6 it is going to be 1. So the issue gets solved. So basically this comes in handy when your organization is in have the IT department. So basically there will be so many information technology issues which comes up with respect to the laptop, the network issues, wherein people can actually raise complaints to the IT department and open issues. And when the IT department contacts them and closes the issues, it can be closed. And this is all monitored by the manager or super senior manager who is monitoring any particular project. So that's how that's done. So feed is wherein we can interact, and discussion is another place wherein you can start a new conversation. So basically, depending on the, you can select the project where you want to start the conversation. These are the two projects. This is one project that I created just for randomly showing it to you guys, and this is another project that Zoho had already inbuilt in it. So that's how you can create a new conversation. Then here is the reports that actually help the managers to understand what is the progress of each and every task that is under a project. So I created the account on February 3rd, so it's showing from February 3rd. If the project had started earlier, I can just move it to earlier stage, right? So that's how you edit the dates and all. And moving on to the calendar is somewhere wherein you can book slots with your manager. So basically if there is an event with respect to social management team or any Zoho project, like any other project team, you click on the team, then you can put on the event name, and then you can click on start date and end date. Who are the attendees? You can add upon people, right? So I have just put in my ID now. I'll be showing how you can add IDs also. You can remind them, and you can say any description about the meeting, what will be discussed, what are the agendas for the meeting, and it's basically like a basic Google Meet calendar. So this is a Zoho projects meeting calendar, right? Now that's how you can go ahead and save the meeting. Now coming to projects. So projects is the number of projects that the organization is actually currently working on. So I'll just show you guys how to add a new project. So here is a new project option. I'll just put project management one here for the sake of the name of the project. See, that's how you create the project. Now you keep a date, that is 3rd February is the start date, and I'll give a 3 minutes 3 months time for the project to well establish. And let's make it a strict project that is within the timeline so that everyone can understand. Then you can give a project overview, that is a description, that is Instagram marketing, Instagram Instagram marketing, and then there can be influencer marketing, that will be a subtask, influencer marketing. Yeah, so these are the things that will be coming under the project of social media management one. And this is the standard layout. Layout is something different that is coming in a higher paid version. Then you can create any group name and put in there those people, any tags you want. So Gantt chart is something that is very professionally advanced thing. And you can see that timesheets, the milestones, finance teams can expenses can come in. And if you want to make it private, like only to the people who are actually into the team, it can be done that way also. You can create a public also and just click add, and you can see that the project is created. We go to the project bar and see that there's another project in the name of project management 1. Right, I think this will be the one. Since one is not visible, I think it'll be confusing to you guys. So, all right, now I'll show you guys how things get like how do we add profiles or add different people to the to your project. So basically, here is the setups. You need to go here, come to manage users. So basically there are portal users and client users and teams. So basically portal users are your employees, client users are if you are running an IT business. So basically you might have clients from outside, like Infosys, TCS have clients from US and different parts of the world or country, right? So portal users are basically the employees. You can add user, you just have to put in the email address, like I will just put sriram at gmail.com and hit on the enter button. I'll put this designation. I'll put as a manager, and you can see manager of which project. I'll put Zoho project management 1 and click on add. And user failed to add deact. Okay, this was a deactivated user. I'll just put one more, Rohit at gmail.com. Put him as a manager and social media 1 and click on employee add. Right, got it. So Rohit has got added. Now I'll put somewhere sham at gmail.com. I'll put him as administrator, admin. So admin basically can access all the project, right? So basically that is the role of an admin. So you can add that way. So what exactly is happening over here is when you add a user, when you are actually adding a user, when you are actually adding a user, the a mail goes to their Gmail account, and they can see that they can accept the invitation and come into their live projects. So that's what is happening over here, right? Add. So that's how. So there are now few people inside our site. Now, if you want to use client users, so basically you will have to add a client company, then you have to add a client user ID, and then provide the role. Now coming to the roles or the profile. So basically profile is these are the default profiles that are provided by Zoho. So here is like basically if you add a role first, you can add a role, like you can put an assistant manager and save, and you can actually create a role over here as assistant manager. And then if you want to add a profile, Roy user profile, then create ad. Yeah, right. See, that's how you add a profile as well. Now that's the basics of what all we have covered. Then so now coming to tasks. So let's get started with tasks. So basically inside a project we have the project management, and let's add a task and show. Right now let's hit the task name as Instagram marketing, and you can give some description, some description, and general. Yeah, this is general. Associated teams. So basically you can create a team and onboard the entire team to the project. Start date and end date can be the same, or if it's with respect to the project is 3 months, you can keep like 1.5 months of project. Priority, you can keep it as a medium priority. Then reminder is not required actually. So billing type, yes, social media is a billable thing, so we'll keep it an ad, right? Now, what is Instagram marketing? There is a task that is created under it. Now under this task, you can actually go ahead and create a mini task or a subtask. So basically, in Instagram marketing, there will be influencer marketing that is taking place, right? Influencer marketing. Right. So influencer marketing is a subtask, so we can give whatever billing type, all that, and add a subtasks. So that is accordingly done. And now if you go and understand You go to projects. If you open up social media management one, you can see that Instagram marketing is coming open. Now, if you want to toggle it and put it in progress, you can see that SM to social media management 2, T1 and T2. This is task 1, task 2 that is acting as a subtask. So that's how you do things over here and get things done. Now, if you go to reports and see that this will get updated, what are the different tasks and milestones that you have created, right? So that's a pretty brief understanding of how Zoho project or the user interface of Zoho project is, and hope you guys have understood it clearly. So that's the hands-on demonstration on Zoho projects. All right, guys. So now that you have gotten a hands-on experience as well on Zoho projects, let's understand some pros and cons of Zoho project or the advantages and disadvantages. So now every project management tools have their own some advantages and their own disadvantages, right? So let's get started with the advantages or the pros of Zoho projects. So basically the pricing is very much reasonable and realistic. So basically they have a 10-day free plan. They have a 10-day free plan for a premium version and a normal free plan that is completely entirely free, wherein you can do a basic stuff with the Zoho project management tool. And the pricing is also very reasonable with respect to the enterprise model or the normal personal project management tool. Now, coming to downtime is extremely unusual. Basically, downtime means wherein if a person is working on a system and the system isn't responding very well, then you will have to call in the customer support and make them understand that this is the problem. So the amount of time that is getting reduced, that is a work time reduced, is very more is comparatively more when you compare to a system, right? So in Zoho project, the downtime is extremely unusual, very low. Now coming to billing, the time tracking, basically an excellent features that Zoho project management provides us. Basically, if you are adding a project and you're putting a billing cycle and the time tracking, so wherein we can put the time progress sheet and each and every employee can update it, so we can understand what is the amount of time that is getting spent on the project and where all the time is getting allocated, and also the amount of money that is getting spent over the project in the various departments wherein the project is actually needing the funds for, right? So you these two features actually are an excellent features that Zoho is actually providing for as a project management tool. Now, keeping it simple because the tracks, it's simple to track the tasks and the projects. So uh, basically, on the home button, we have the different types of tasks that is getting published over there. So we can easily access those tasks and projects. And coming to the last point, that is customer support. So customer support is something that is excellent for Zoho projects. That has been very, due to, you can actually see the second point, the downtime is extremely unusual. That is what is meant by the excellent customer support. So you can get to know that when the downtime is extremely unusual or very less, the customer support is going to be really responsive towards any issues that you guys are facing. So that is some of the advantages of using Zoho projects. Now, talking about the disadvantages or the cons, we come to bug reporting is in a need of improvement. So basically, customer support was very well, but the way in which the bug reporting it needs some improvement. So basically, the way we can raise a issue to the customer support can be improved. That is what, according to my research and understanding of different reviews from good people, big organization, understood that the bug reporting needs an improvement, and the learning curve is very steep. Like basically, if you hire a new employee and you are telling that there is a project management tool that has been inculcated in every projects that we are assigned to. So the person first has to learn the has to learn the Zoho project management tool, and then only he'll have to get started with the work, right? So the learning curve is very much high. So the employees must be provided some training of Zoho projects in order to actually use the all features. And another thing is that there is no way of knowing if all the features has been used. So basically, Zoho projects has to work on the idea that every feature is getting used. So only then they can actually understand, make the users feel that the all the features that is provided by Zoho projects are pretty useful, and it would actually help them increasing their productivity in any project that they are managing. So currently there is no way of knowing whether they have already used the features or not, right? So that's another con of Zoho projects.
Now, let's try to first of all understand that what exactly is quality in terms of project management. So whenever we will be discussing about quality in general, it can mean different things in different scenarios. But what does it mean? What is the meaning of quality when we are talking about project management? That is something we will be seeing in this particular module. So quality is the extent to which a set of inherent characteristics meets a set of criteria. Whenever you are talking about managing a project, there is always some objective. There are always some specified needs that we need to meet. There is some set of criteria. Now, to what extent you meet that set of criteria is your quality. If you are meeting that set of criteria to a good level, that will be high quality. If you are not meeting it to a good level, that means low quality. So that's how it works. Now, in project management especially, quality is the extent to which a project compiles with certain specifications. Whenever you talk about managing a project, there are always some goals. There is always some vision. To what extent you meet that set of criteria in a particular project defines quality in project management. Then one core concept of project quality management is that quality is planned in and not inspected in. Let me give you a very simple example. Let's just assume that we are managing a project, we are working on a project right now, and you do not plan for quality. You have no idea how you are going to manage the quality, plan the quality, or assure the quality in that particular project. Let's say it's a construction project. Then eventually, once everything will be done and the project will be ending, we'll realize that we'll actually have to go for rework maybe because the quality was not good enough. And quality is extremely important in certain industries such as construction industry or maybe in other industries as well. So we'll have to go for rework, and that will not be a very cost effective method. Maybe we'll have to repeat the entire work and it will be wastage of money, time, energy and efforts. So we'll have to make sure that whenever we are going to manage a project, we will have to plan for the quality rather than going and checking it at the end, because that will be evaluation. Planning for quality and then evaluating quality. These are two different things. So when we talk about project management or project quality management, we have to remember that quality is always planned in and it is not inspected in. So that is one important point to remember. Then project quality is a critical determinant of customer satisfaction. Whenever we are talking about quality, it starts with customers, it starts with end users, and it ends with the customers too. So that is one important aspect. Whenever we are talking about quality, at the center of it, there is a customer, and we have to make sure that we meet the expectations of that customer. So project quality is a critical determinant, is an essential determinant of customer satisfaction, which in turn is a fundamental determinant of project success. Whenever you have a project, you are managing a project, how will you decide whether that project is a success or a failure? By looking at the specified needs, whether you have met the objectives or not. Now, how will you decide whether you have met the objectives or not? By looking at the satisfaction rate of the customers, of the end users. If customers are satisfied, that means the project was a success. If customers or end users are not satisfied, that means the project was a failure. So, in order to decide whether a project was a success or a failure, customer satisfaction is a fundamental determinant, which is a critical determinant for project quality. All these things are actually interlinked. And that's how this entire bit works. So whenever we are talking about project management or project quality management, you always have to remember that at the heart of it, there is a customer. And in order to meet the expectations, the needs of that customer, we have to manage the quality. Quality cannot be inspected in at the end. We have to plan for it. We have to plan and we have to see how we are going to manage the quality. We should have a proper vision for that. Then how to assure it. How to make sure that each and everything is going in a smooth way, in an efficient way. That all bit is a part of project quality management. Now let's move forward and try to understand that what exactly is the difference between quality and grade. So these are two terms where people get confused very easily. So you need to understand that quality refers to how well a product fits the needs of the customers or end users. As I already told you, quality cannot be defined without a customer at the center. So it completely depends upon the expectations of the customer or the end users. If you are meeting their expectations, the quality is good. If you are not meeting their expectations, the quality is not good. It is as simple as that. But when you talk about grade, it refers to the classification given to products that have the same functional purpose but differ in technical qualities. A high grade may not always reflect a high level of quality. Again, I have written two very simple examples. 24 karat gold is a higher grade as compared to 22 karat gold. But jewelry made of either grade can be of high quality. Now that is very important to understand. If you look at, I give you two options, which one of these two will have higher grade, 24 karat or 22 karat? You'll say 24 karat. But does that mean that we can say the quality of 24 karat is good? No, if you make jewelry of both these grades, the quality can be good for any of these. It does not matter on the grade. It is simply dependent upon to what extent it has met the requirements, the expectations of the customers or the end users. So you don't have to confuse between the two terms quality and grade. A high grade may not always reflect a high level of quality. That is extremely important to understand. Then there are some more examples that a software application can be of high quality but low grade. You must have seen there are so many variations that we will be getting for these softwares and applications. Sometimes we'll see that the grade will be higher, but the expectations of the customers won't be met. So in that case, we can say that the grade is high, but the quality is less. So these two bits, that is quality and grade, can be inversely proportional to. It is not always mandatory that if the grade is high, the quality will be high too. So now let's start from reasons for poor quality. Now you must be thinking that we always know that whenever we have to meet the expectations of the customer or the end users, we have to make sure that the quality is good. It should be up to the mark. But there are so many operational processes and projects we see that the quality is not so good. Now, what could be the reason behind that? What are the reasons for poor quality? Number one, lack of discipline. Whenever we are talking about managing quality or assuring quality, planning for that is extremely important. And that will never be suitable until unless you are fully disciplined. So you have to be disciplined. If you have lack of discipline, definitely you will not be able to plan for it and then assure it or then control it. And eventually it will be a wastage of time, energy, money and effort. So that is the thing. So we have to make sure that we are disciplined if we are talking about managing quality, planning for quality. Second thing is insufficiently stated requirements. If you do not know what are the specified needs, if you do not know what exactly is the vision, the mission of this particular project, what do we want to achieve? What is the expectations of the customer? If the stated requirements will not be clear, then definitely it will be an issue and it will cause poor quality that in any particular project. The next is unpredictable changes. If there are changes and we are not able to manage those changes, we always say that change is not a bad thing. Change is constant, but a lot of people cannot adapt to that change. That is an issue. So if there are so many unpredictable changes, then we will not have a plan which is ready that we can directly implement. We will have to plan again. We will have to think about the entire process again. So that can be one major reason for poor quality. Then poor documentation and poor quality control. So that is also one thing. If you have not documented everything, you do not know that what you have learned from your previous project. Maybe you have done a mistake. If you have learned from that previous project, you can definitely implement that because you have it documented. But if you won't document the same, you will have no idea, you will have no learnings from your previous projects. That can also cause poor quality. Then ineffective management. If we cannot manage things and people, definitely the quality is going to be poor. Because when we talk about quality, it's not that only one person can get us good quality. Only one person can make sure that the quality is up to the mark. There are multiple managers involved at times when we are talking about any project or any process. There are so many resources, human resources, financial resources, asset management, so many things are there into the picture. So managing all those things, all the human resources, non-human resources, That is also extremely important in order to make sure that the quality is good, it is up to mark. Then unclear goals. Again, same thing. As I was telling you that if we do not have clear mindset, that is where I want to reach. This is the desired position where I want to reach. If you won't have this kind of clear mindset, then again, the quality is going to be poor because we do not know what we want to achieve. We do not know that what exactly the end user is expecting out of this particular product or this particular project. So we will never have an idea about the project success or project failure, because all these things are very subjective and are completely dependent upon the expectations of the customer or the end users. So we should have very clear goals, only then we will have good quality. Then unrealistic demands. If it is not attainable, we have the desired position, we have clear goals, we have the planning for that. Everything is there in the right place. But if the demands are unrealistic, we do not know how to reach there. We don't have the stepwise learning for that. We do not know that how exactly will that be attainable, achievable. So that will be an issue again, and that can again be one of the reasons for poor quality. Then staff issues. That is a given that if there are any staffing issues, that will also cause poor quality. If let's say in one place, in one project, 10 people are required, but we have only 5 people, definitely the quality is going to suffer. Similarly, if there are 10 people required, but there are 20 people, then also quality can suffer because people will not take it seriously and there can be lack of discipline. So there are various factors into the picture, but the major reasons for poor quality are lack of discipline. And if we don't have a clear goal, we don't have a clear desired position where we want to reach. So whenever we are talking about any project or managing a project, make sure you are very clear that what will be project success and what will be the criteria for project failure. How can we meet the expectations of the customers? If you are clear about these what, when, where, why questions, definitely you will be able to manage the quality, you will be able to plan for it, you will be able to assure it, and eventually you will be able to control it as well. And it will help you in your upcoming projects too. Because whatever project you are doing right now, eventually you can control the quality, but you should have some learnings from that as well. If you'll have the learnings, implement it in your next project, and that is only going to increase your chances of increasing the quality, the expectations of the customers. So that's how this entire process works. All right. So now you have understood that what exactly is quality, what is the difference between quality and grade, and what are the different reasons for poor quality. We are clear about everything related to quality. Now it is important for us to understand that what is the importance of managing quality on a project. Why don't we just leave it? Why don't we just evaluate it when the project is done, when the project is going to end? Why do we need to start from the very beginning? Why do we need to plan for it? What is the importance of that? What is the need for that? These are some questions which will be answered in this particular module. So the first point, as you can see over here, is time, money, and efforts invested in planning and managing quality upfront will produce reduction in costs later on. Just assume 2 scenarios. Scenario number 1, where you have a proper plan from the beginning itself. You are seeing that how to assure quality, whether you are meeting the requirements, the standards or not, and you are making sure from the beginning itself. You are planning accordingly. That is scenario number 1. And there is scenario 2, where you are done with the project, then eventually you evaluate the quality and you find a mismatch between the actual needs that we were supposed to meet and the needs to the extent that we have met. What do you think is the better case? I want you to pause the screen for a while and think about it. Definitely, a lot of you must be thinking that the first case is better, because in that particular case, we have a proper plan in place and we know how to make things work out. And you are right about it. Scenario 1 is actually the best case, because I made it very clear in the beginning itself that quality should be planned in. It cannot be inspected in. If one project is done, you go at the end and you try to evaluate, try to assess things, that may not work out. And the major issue is time, money, and efforts will be wasted in that case. If you go evaluate the quality and you find out that it is not up to the mark, then you will have to do the entire process once again, which will be wastage of time, money, energy, and efforts. So that is one major issue. But if you plan for the quality from the beginning itself, definitely there will be some reduction in cost. Your time will be saved too. So that's the beauty of planning for quality from the beginning itself. then quality management plan will give confidence to the stakeholders that they will receive the product they expected. So whoever is the stakeholder, the people who are going to get affected by that particular project, by that particular process, if we'll have a proper plan in place, then everyone will be very, very confident that, okay, this is what we are expecting. They have a proper quality plan for that, and they are going to meet the specified needs. But if you won't have a plan, we will be completely lost. We will have no idea. We will know that these are the desired positions where we want to reach. This is the objective that we want to achieve. But how? That question will never be answered in case we don't have a proper plan for quality. So having a plan, a proper quality management plan is extremely important. Then this will improve the effectiveness during life cycle of the project. Taking learnings from project to project will support continuous improvement. If you are planning for quality in a particular project, it is never going to make sure that the quality will be the best for that particular project. Sometimes things can work out and sometimes things may not work out. But what we can do is we can always take some learnings from the previous projects and we can try to improve those things in the upcoming projects. So that is also one thing which can be assured if we have a proper quality management plan, because all those things will be documented that these are our learnings from this particular project. Then we will try to improve those things, try to implement all those methods that we have discovered in the next project. So that will also make sure that the quality is going to be up to the mark in that particular direction. Then this will reduce rework, which in turn will reduce the project cost. As I was mentioning, if you don't have a project quality plan and you move forward, and at the end, once the project is about to end, you evaluate and you find out that the quality is not up to the mark, then you will go for the rework, which will cost money, time, energy, and the finances definitely. But if you have a proper quality management plan, there will be no need of rework, because eventually you know that, okay, this is where I am supposed to go, and you have a proper plan for it and you are managing it from the very beginning itself. So it's not like there are some gaps where we are managing it. It's a part of the entire project management plan. So that's how it works. If you are managing a project, you cannot come like, okay, at this point we are going to manage the quality, we are going to assure the quality. It's always a continuous process, always ongoing along with the project. That's how quality is managed whenever we are talking about a project. So these are some important points that you should always remember whenever we are talking about managing quality on a particular project. All right. So now let's look at the definition of project quality management. We have understood the basic things about quality and how things work whenever we are managing a project, how things work from the point of view of managing quality. So let's move forward and directly look at the definition of project quality management. So as you can see on the screen, the first point says that project quality management is the discipline used to ensure that the outcomes of the project as well as the processes used to provide those outcomes fulfill the stakeholders' requirements. Now you have to remember two things here. So generally there's a confusion. Some people think that if we are meeting the stakeholders' expectations, the quality is assured. But we also have to make sure that the processes used to provide those outcomes, used to provide those needs, those requirements are also equally important whenever we are talking about project quality management. So whenever we talk about managing quality in a particular project, you have to ensure that whatever is the outcome of that project and whatever processes we are taking in order to reach those outcomes, in order to reach those specified needs. So both these things are equally important when we talk about project quality management. Project quality management ensures that the project meets the specified needs for which it is undertaken. That is the main objective whenever we are talking about the quality in project management. The main benefit of managing quality in a project is that it provides direction on how quality will be validated and managed throughout the project lifecycle. As I was mentioning before as well, whenever we talk about managing a particular project, it's not like there will be phase 1 of the project and after that we will manage the quality, we will assure the quality. Then there will be phase 2, we will manage the quality. That's not how it works. That is not a good way. The better way is we have to plan for quality from the very first phase, from the very first day of the project. Whatever project we are going to manage, We should know what are the expectations from that particular project from the point of view of the stakeholders, the customers, the end users. And then according to that, we should have a proper quality plan ready. That is one thing. Once we have a proper quality plan ready, then we will go for quality assurance. And we will make sure that whatever plan we have, are we actually going to meet those needs? Are we actually going to meet those requirements? That is done by quality assurance throughout the project life cycle. And then eventually quality control. We see that, okay, this is a mismatch. This is what we are supposed to get, and this is what we are getting. So if that's a mismatch, we always have to fill that. We always have to plan for that. That is quality control. So these are three major things, and we will be discussing about these three things in detail as well. First of all, you plan for the quality, then you assure the quality, and then eventually you control the quality. And it is done throughout the project life cycle. There will not be certain points where we will be managing the quality. It will be done from day one till the last day. Last day also we will document the learnings that we have from particular project, and we will apply it in the next project. So that's how it actually works. The main benefit of managing quality in a particular project is that it provides direction on how quality will be managed and how it will be validated throughout the project life cycle, not at a particular phase of the project. Now moving forward, let's see why project quality management. We are discussing a lot about project quality management, but why do we even need it? Why can't we just, evaluate the quality maybe at the end and we can just go about the process? What is the actual need of managing quality in a project? That is something we will be exploring over here. So why project quality management? Number one, less wastage of time, money, and efforts, because we won't have to do the rework again if we are managing the quality properly. If you won't manage the quality properly, definitely you will have to go for rework, because there will always be some mismatch between the requirements and between the stage where we have actually reached. And to fill that mismatch, we will have to go for rework, which will be a wastage of time, energy, money, and efforts. So definitely you should make sure that you manage the quality from the beginning so that there is less wastage of all these factors. Then second point is more efficiency and effectiveness. Now what is that about? So if you are managing the quality from the beginning, we will always be efficient. Everyone will be productive. We will know what we are supposed to achieve and how we are supposed to achieve it. It is said that if you have a plan, you will achieve it. If you don't have a plan, you are lost. So if you have a quality plan, the quality at the end of the project will be up to the mark. But if you don't have a quality plan, the effectiveness will be very less, the efficiency will be very less, and overall productivity and the quality for that particular product or service will also be very, very less. So that's why project quality management is very, very important. Then deeper grasp of the customer demands. As I told you, whenever we are talking about quality, it starts with customers and it ends with customers. How? Why? We have discussed it already. That when we have to manage the quality, the major criteria, number one thing is, are we meeting the customer demands? Are we meeting the demands or the requirements of the end users or not? That is the most important thing. So if we are going to plan quality, assure quality, definitely we will get a deeper grasp of the customer demands as well, because that is something that we will actually have to analyze when we are talking about managing quality. Then improved risk management. That is again one thing connected to less wastage of time, energy, and money. Because if you don't have a proper quality plan, the risk will be very high. That there will be chances that maybe you will have to do that entire work again. Because maybe the mismatch between the actual requirements and the requirements what we have met is huge. And we just can't proceed with that. Then we'll have to do the rework. So risk involved will be very, very high if we just do this quality management at certain phases. But if we start from the beginning and we manage the quality from the very beginning, then the risk involved will also be very, very less. Then greater customer satisfaction, because quality is all about meeting the customer demands. So if we will be able to manage it, the customer satisfaction will be very high, and which in turn will make sure that the project is a success and not a failure. Because when we talk about a project, eventually it comes down to a project success. Then consistent control of main business processes. That is one thing. That's why project quality management is extremely important. Then increased profitability, because definitely the less wastage of time, energy, and money will be there. So whatever human resources we have, whatever non-human resources we have, we will be making sure that each and everything is efficient, effective, and productive. That will make sure that the profitability is eventually increased. Then an embedded culture for quality. A culture cannot be built. You have to work hard for that. So if we are talking about managing a particular project, it can't be like we'll just come and we'll say that, okay, quality has to be good and it will be good. No, you should plan for it. You should assure it. You will have to do the hard work for that. Now, how that is done? By having a proper project quality management plan. So that is something which will be embedded into the culture after that. So having quality in a particular project is fine, but sustaining that quality throughout is very, very important. And that can be done if we have proper quality management into the right place. Now, moving forward, let's try to understand that what are the main components of a quality management process. So we have understood what exactly is quality, the difference between various terms that confuse, such as quality and grade. We have also seen the reasons for poor quality, and then the definition of project quality management. So each and everything is clear. Now, what are the main components of quality management process? We are going to manage the quality. It is important also, but how? Now that how question will be answered in this particular module. So main components of quality management process are quality planning, quality assurance, and quality control. So step 1, you plan for the quality. Step 2, you have to assure the quality. And step 3, you have to control the quality. And your work is done. You take the learnings for the next project. That's how it works. So let's talk about quality planning first of all. It involves identifying and evaluating which quality standards are important and are relevant to the project and establishing how to meet them. This is about basically setting the goals, smart goals, specific, measurable, achievable, time bound. Those kind of goals we have to set, that this is the set of criteria, that is something where we want to reach at. So that part is done by project quality. So it involves identifying and evaluating which quality standards are important. So that is about project quality planning. Then quality assurance. It ensures that the project will employ all standards and processes needed to meet requirements. We have established the requirements or the expectations in the quality planning. But how will you ensure whether the project will employ all those standards, all those requirements or not? That is done by quality assurance. Then the last step is quality control. It involves the monitoring of specific project outcomes to evaluate if the outcomes comply with quality standards, and based on those results, establishing ways to eliminate causes of unsatisfactory outcomes. So when we say planning, it is about setting the goals, evaluating the quality standards. Once the quality standards are established, now how will you assure that? By quality assurance. You will make sure that the project will employ all the standards and processes. That is done in quality assurance. Now, how will you evaluate to what extent we have met it or to what extent we are losing? That is done by quality control. So it involves the monitoring or controlling of specific project outcomes to evaluate if the outcomes comply with quality standards or not. And what can we do in order to meet the quality standards that we have established in the first step? So that is something which is done in quality control. Now, let me give you this basic overlook so that you can understand it in much better way. So what is quality planning? It is about this one question. What is quality and how can we ensure it? Now, what do I mean when I say quality, that what is quality? We have already seen the definition of quality. You must be thinking, why are we talking about it again? But there's a reason for that. Whenever we are talking about a specific project, so the definition of quality for each and every project can be different. If you are managing, let's say, a construction project, the quality can be something else for that particular area, for that particular project. But if you go in, let's say, some other sector, healthcare sector, pharmaceutical sector, the meaning of quality can be totally different. The standards will be totally different. So first of all, in quality planning, we have to see what is the meaning of quality for that particular project. Then how can we ensure it? How will we make sure that what are the standards? What are the goals where we are supposed to reach? So that is part of quality planning. Then quality assurance. So are we following the quality standards? Now that is one question. We have established the quality standards in quality planning, but are we actually following it? or we have just set it and we are not following it. That is done by quality assurance, by assuring the quality whether we are following, we are going to meet those standards or not. Now, whether we will actually meet those standards or not, that is the third step, quality control. Are we meeting the quality standards? Establishing the quality standards, quality planning. Then are we following the quality standards? Quality assurance. Are we meeting the quality standards? That is quality control. So these are the three major steps. You have to ask yourself these WH questions when you are going with this entire process. There are two important key points that I have mentioned. Number one is each process necessitates the participation of one or more individuals depending on the project's requirements. And second point is each process occurs at least once during the project life cycle. We initiate the project and then we implement and then we go about closing the project. In this entire project life cycle, each of these processes, planning, assurance, or control, will at least come once in that entire life cycle. So that's how this entire process works. All right. Now let's discuss about each of these steps, quality planning, quality assurance, and quality control in much more detail. So first of all, let's take quality planning. What is the input when we are talking about quality planning, and what eventually will be the output from this particular process, from this particular stage? So quality planning will include customer expectations. That is one thing. Quality starts with customers and quality ends with customers. That is always there. We have to make sure that we are meeting the customer's expectations, the stakeholders' expectations. Then success criteria and acceptable tolerances for achieving those objectives. We have set the objectives. We have established the quality standards. But what will be the success criteria? To what extent we have to meet those objectives? That is also decided in quality planning. Then internal and external standards. Then systematic documentation of plan and procedures for testing, review, control, etc. Basically, quality planning you have to start once you are starting with your project directly. You have to see how will you control the quality. How will you assure the quality? What is the plan for that? You have to make the plan. You have to see who will do the testing, who will do this part, who will manage this part. Each and everything is decided. The management of the human resources, non-human resources, how many people will do that task in order to make sure that the quality is managed and the quality is controlled throughout the project life cycle. So that is very, very important when we talk about quality planning, and all that is done in planning step. Then a systematic documentation of that is a must. Then testing, supervision, and management roles and responsibilities. Then having the roles and responsibilities in one thing, but giving them clear description about their roles is another thing. So we know that who's going to do the testing, who's going to do the supervision or the management for this particular part. But how that will be done, what will be the standards for quality, that is again established in quality planning. So when we talk about quality planning in general, it's about giving the definition of the quality for that particular project and then establishing the requirements of the customers, the end users, and seeing what are the quality standards we should meet and how we should meet that. So each of these things should be included in quality planning. In terms of input and output, you can say that we should have a project management plan. That is one thing. If we won't have a project management plan, we can never develop a quality plan. The first thing that we should have as an input is project management plan, stakeholders' expectations. We should know what will be the success rate for this. What are the customers looking forward to? Do they really want this? What is their expectation? That should be very clear. Then risks involved. We should know that these are the unpredictable changes, unpredictable flows that can happen in this particular project. That clarity should be there. Then requirements documentation. What are the requirements, the standards? That documentation should be there. And deliverables. What we are supposed to deliver. What will we call it? When will we call it as a project success? So that is also one thing. So all these things are extremely important and these should be taken as input. And then once we'll plan the quality, what will be the output? Number one, quality management plan. So we will have a quality management plan ready from all these inputs. Then process improvement plan, that will also be ready because we know that that's how we are going to manage the quality. And if we'll see a mismatch, how will we improve that? How will we cover that? So that will also be decided in the quality planning phase. Then quality metrics and quality checklist. that this is what we are supposed to do, that is what we are supposed to do, these are the standards, that's how we are supposed to meet it. All these what when where questions for assuring the quality, for controlling the quality are also answered in quality planning. So this is what quality planning is all about. Now let's move forward and try to understand more about quality assurance, which is the second step in this entire process of project quality management. So quality reviews are an important techniques for ensuring quality. The quality plan will outline how they will be carried out. So in quality plan, we know that these are the established standards, these are the specified needs, and that's how we are supposed to reach there. But how will we make sure whether we are following those standards or not? That is done by quality assurance. And quality reviews are a very important technique, very essential technique when we talk about quality assurance or ensuring quality in general. So what is the main objective of reviews, doing the quality reviews? Number one, assure that the project is progressing according to the agreed upon plans and protocols. We have decided the plans. We have decided the specified needs in the quality planning phase. But are we actually following it? Are we actually progressing according to that? Or are we going in some other direction? That is assured by quality assurance, by quality reviews. Then assess the efficacy of agreed upon plans. To what extent we are meeting the agreed upon plans? We will never be able to meet it at 100%. There will always be some mismatch. But to what extent we are meeting, all those things should also be documented, and that is part of basically your quality assurance, ensuring the quality. Are we following it or not? Then take notes on what you have learned so that you can use it in the upcoming projects. Then determine whether there is a lack of compliance and where there are opportunities for improvement. So you have decided the standards, but once you'll start progressing, you'll see that this could have been done better, or this could have been done in this way. So note down all those areas of improvement. That is only going to be helpful for you in the next steps. Once we will be controlling the quality, or we'll be moving to some other projects maybe. Then there's a small note as well that quality assurance encompasses the entire project life cycle rather than focusing on a single step. So we generally say that these are stages of project quality management, that you plan the quality, you assure the quality, and then you control the quality. But does it really happen in this structured way? Not really. If you talk about a real world project, all these phases are actually overlapping with each other. You should have a plan ready. Once the plan is ready, it won't be like that at this particular stage, we will be having quality assurance check. We will be having quality reviews. It's throughout. It's an ongoing process so that we can improve. It should be very agile. That is the word. So that's how we progress with any project, by assuring the quality from the very beginning till the very end. Now let's look at the input and the output for quality assurance as well. So what we need, and then once we have assured the quality, what will be the eventual output? As in input, all the outputs that were there for quality planning will be inputs for quality assurance, such as quality management plan, process improvement plan, then quality metrics and checklists. So all these things were outputs from quality management plan. Now, once we have the plan ready, we'll take it as an input for quality assurance. We'll assure the quality, we'll do the quality reviews, and then we'll get the output. Now, what is that output? Change requests. If we'll feel that this could have been done better, this we can do in this particular way. This is the better way, because once we progress with the project, then there will be so many changes. So all those change requests are made. Then project management plan updates, if there is any update that needs to be done. Because planning things and then executing things are two different things. Sometimes we'll plan something, but when it comes to implementing, we'll see it from a different perspective. So if there are any updates in that direction, that needs to be done, and that is done from quality assurance. Then project documentation updates. So these are the major outputs. Once the quality is assured, quality assurance is done. Now moving forward, let's try to understand more about quality control, which is the last phase of this entire process of project quality management. So when we talk about quality control, point number one is inspection, testing, and quality measurement are used to ensure that project deliverables are compliant with specifications and fulfill stakeholders' expectations. We establish the standards in project quality plan, and then we make sure that are we meeting those plans, are we following those plans or not in quality assurance. But in quality control, we have to make sure, are we meeting those plans or not? If we are meeting, to what extent? That is something which is done in quality control, because that's how the quality will be controlled for the next phase in that particular phase. That is the main thing. We plan, we assure in order to control the quality eventually. So quality control procedures vary and the techniques used are based on the requirements of the projects. It always depends upon the project. In fact, the definition of quality in general is different for each project, as I already mentioned. So what are the procedures and the techniques? That will again depend upon the kind of project that we have undertaken. Then the particular inspection method employed is totally dependent on the technical nature of the specified needs and the product of the project. What do we want at the end of this project? What will we call it as a project success? What will make it a success? That is something which should be very, very clear, and accordingly project quality control is done. We are going to control the quality keeping in mind that this is what we want from this particular project. If we won't have the specified needs, we will never be able to control the quality, because we will never be able to understand what we wanted to achieve and what we have achieved. So that clarity, that gap should be very, very clear, and then only the processes can be improved. So that's what quality control is all about. Now let's again look at the input and the output part when we talk about controlling the quality. So quality management plan, quality checklists, metrics, these are again the outputs of quality planning. Then approved change requests, whatever changes we are making after quality assurance, whatever work performance data we have from quality assurance, that is all taken as an input, and then we get the output. Now what is that output after quality control? Quality control measurements, validated changes, completed checklist, whatever quality checklist we had, that these are the standards that we want to meet. Are we going to meet those standards or not? Have we met it? To what extent? That is all documented by quality control. Then quality improvement, how that can be done, verified deliverables, the results, outcome of the project, and then the rework also. So generally, if we are going with the quality plan, there are very less chances that we will have to go with the rework process, because rework is generally done when we don't have the quality plan. But in certain cases, maybe a part of project where we have missed something, rework can also be an output for quality control, because we'll find out that this was a major difference between the requirements, the specified needs, and the requirements that we had tried to complete. So if the mismatch is too high, it's huge, we will have to do the rework also. That will definitely waste your money, time, and energy. So make sure you start with quality planning. A proper plan should be ready. Once the plan is ready, you assure quality at each and every step of the project life cycle. And then eventually you control the quality by making sure whether we have met the proper quality standards or not. And if we have met, to what standards we have met. Now these things are very, very important, and that's all quality control is all about.
So now let us very quickly summarize this video. In today's video, we discussed that a project is defined as a series of tasks that must be completed to achieve a specific outcome. A project has a definite beginning and an end. Project management is the planning and management of project to complete its listed objective and deliverables. It includes recognizing and managing risk, careful resource management, and open communication across multiple teams and stakeholders. The use of project management tools ensure that the entire project management process runs smoothly. The tools assist a team or an individual in doing project management tasks more effectively and efficiently. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any new update or video releases from Great Learning. If you enjoyed this video, show us some love and like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing, so make sure you share this video with your friends and colleagues. Make sure to comment on the video for any query or suggestions, and I will respond to your comments.